What's up, everyone? How are we all doing today? We got ourselves a fun one today. SpongeBob Diaries, much requested on this channel. Let me just readjust my mic a little bit. I just feel like it's falling down a bit. Yeah, SpongeBob Diaries. I really thought I wasn't going to cover this one. I really thought SpongeBob Diaries was going to be Papa SpongeTruths. Hello. Hi, I love turtles. Welcome. Jackson Peak LE. Thank you. The little thing. Granddaddy Ava. Yeah, we'll talk about Ava a little bit. This whole little lore of all these different SpongeBob channels. Some AI, some real. Back at it again, destroying the AI slop. I know, it's been, I really wanted to do it. I wanted to do this stream on Sunday, but my 20K subs special, I just went on and on with it. I had a lot of like Q&As and stuff, so I ended up just doing that on Sunday. So I wanted to do this a couple of days ago. Jackson, big news, I'm adopting a real turtle. I'm so happy to hear that. I love turtles. Yeah, I really want to get a pet myself. I've been wanting to get a cat, but my sister's allergic. So my sister and I are close, so she's usually around where we are. So I don't want to get something that's going to make her not come over because she's allergic. So I'm trying to figure that out because I do love animals as well. I love turtles, but I don't know if I'd want a reptile. Especially my fiance. She wants a fluffy animal, something you can snuggle with. When will you talk about American Dad? People really want me to talk about American Dad, huh? I should, right? I should. I know. It's on my radar. I mean, American Dad is a really good show, and my discussions on animation and also like the rot of like how shows that run for a long time get bad, like with SpongeBob and now Family Guy. American Dad is definitely something I'm gonna need to cover because American Dad keeps its quality, for all of these years. Like American Dad, I think is still a very strong show. I mean, there's definitely, if you really deeply look at it, you could probably see some, I don't even know. I don't have really strong opinions about like the quality of American Dad through the seasons. I've only really watched it all the way through once, but I can sit and enjoy modern American Dad. Like the most recent season of American Dad, when I watched it to like I just watched it. I didn't even watch it to cover it. Like the most recent Family Guy season, I watch Family Guy every year when it comes out. I've seen every Family Guy, so I do watch it when it comes out. I do watch it because there are times where it makes me laugh, but it definitely, there is an element of me watching modern Family Guy to kind of see how much it's fallen. And modern SpongeBob, I did not keep up with modern SpongeBob until I became a YouTuber. I actually because I have like gaps in my modern SpongeBob watching. I've seen like a good amount of like seasons 13, 14, 15, but season 16 is when my channel started getting big. So I've seen all of season 16 because I reviewed all of season 16, and I've seen all of season 17 so far. I don't think I'm going to cover last week's episodes of season 17 this week. I am preoccupied with Moana live action. I think I'm going to do something with that. My Digital Circus video has been very put off. It's not high of my priority, unfortunately. Oh, it's been a tough one just because it was long. And my other big thing I'm working on right now is my theory. My SpongeBob theory that I'm going to be announcing soon, perhaps in this stream if the feeling strikes me. But yeah. Hi everyone, how are we all doing? We're gonna get into it. Is this the MF that connected Black Lemonade to bombings? Yep, that would be SpongeBob Diaries. I'm not gonna just like. There's more to talk about with. Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. SpongeBob's worst episode just became evidence. What an incoherent title. Yeah, that was Ava. Ava covered that video. So if you're curious about the whole drone strike, SpongeBob Diaries video, watch Ava. Ava talked about it. So I'm not going to just take Ava's observations. I'd probably say generally a lot of the same things. I think one of the reasons people wanted me to cover this video specifically, this drone strike one, is because I guess like I'm a little more political than Ava. Not that Ava was never political. He did one, like Ava's definitely, I guess I would say not a conservative, because Ava did this video where Ava talked about how Fox News like overreacted to climate short or something. That's like the most, but like Ava's not like Ava's never done a video like SpongeTruths is homophobic. So I get that my reputation is I'm a little more political than Ava. Or please don't learn politics from A. These are my most political streams, these two. Definitely. This one might be a little political, I don't know. We will see. We'll see what I end up really covering. Ava is from Sweden? Really? Is that where he's from? So that also could explain. I mean, there's still politics in Sweden, but I get what you mean. That I'm an American, so American politics is more intertwined with me. Would you make videos on good episodes? Me? I have made videos on good episodes. And if in season 17, if they ever make a good episode in season 17, I'll review it. These episodes were fine. The ones that I talked about in this one, the nerds and the SquarePants method, they were fine, those episodes. They clear my bar for what like stories should have, but they just weren't like remarkable. They had flaws. Kiss of the Nematode was okay too. My criticism of Kiss of the Nematode was not that it was a bad episode. It was that SpongeBob was barely a character in it. That was my criticism. I'd say of all of the season 17 episodes I discussed, this one's the worst by far. Home Away from Home is a garbage episode. It's a garbage episode. Just like I said, garbage. This is I would say that Home Away from Home is the bottom episode for me. Although the ones that aired last week might have was pretty. Nah, Home Away from Home was worse. Last week's episodes. But if they make a good one, opinion on Sweaty Clam, I'm planning on doing a Sweaty Clam stream. I need to do some research on Sweaty Clam. I've heard conflicting accounts of. I am like weirdly like not in. I'm like in the bottom of the box here. That's better. I'm like I need to like sit up a little or something. My chair needs to go like a little higher. Chair doesn't go much higher than this. But I like it where we can see my my little posters behind me. What were we talking about? Sweaty Clam. Sweaty Clam needs a dedicated stream, for sure. I don't want to yap too much before. We're gonna just quickly address Sweaty Clam, and then we're gonna get into the main thing. Yeah, Sweaty Clam, 210K subscribers. Oh, they're bigger than I thought. I mean, like, let's even set aside let's say Sweaty Clam is not AI. Like, these are already like trash videos. Like, come on. Times Family Guy roasted other countries. Come on. We know what this video is gonna be. It's just it going over it's just, it might as well be Family Guy funny moments, but we just show like, but there's a little bit of commentary in between, and it tries to like act like it's like we know that, and maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it myself. I'm gonna give it a fair shot, but like from what I see, like come on, how high would the Griffin's insurance be? It's No Villains Are Safe. Like this is garbage. I already can tell, but I'm gonna have to actually properly address it. So yeah, if anyone knows anything about like Sweaty Clam, someone told me that Sweaty Clam used to use AI and like now they don't, or like does it say anything in the description? Here at Sweaty Clam, we make videos talking about Family Guy. We hope you enjoy. I will not enjoy. Join June 22nd, 2007. That's, yet their oldest video is 1 year ago. That's the same as SpongeTruths. That's a thing where these literally 2007, content farms buy old channels. And some of them joined in like really long ago years, 2007. Like what? I was 9 years old when, or I was 8 years old. I would have been 8 years old on this date. I was 8 years old when Sweaty Clam started their YouTube channel, and then they just sat on the idea until 1 year ago. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, no, this channel's a joke. We'll do a stream for it. But if anyone knows Sweaty Clam, like people care about the AI usage. I don't think it's the main thing that I care about when I look at this, but people will care, and I do want to get facts straight. So if anyone knows, like, I want to know like the video, like what's the video where they stopped using AI, if they stopped using AI. That's my question. That's my question about Sweaty Clam. Anyone have any answers for it? If not, we will get to SpongeBob Diaries. Wait, Jackson is 28 years old. Almost 28 in October. Yeah, I'm 27 now. But yeah. I'm pretty sure that Darkest Moments thumbnail is ripping off another YouTuber who's an AI. They're all, yeah, we'll talk about Sweaty Clam another stream. We'll do a Sweaty Clam stream. Probably when I do another Family Guy video. I like to cover content farms in a way that kind of lines up with the videos I just did. So like if I do a Family Guy video, I'll usually cover a Family Guy content farm. Like that's like I did Alex Griffin after I did my most recent Family Guy video. And I cover SpongeBob more than Family Guy. There's also more SpongeBob content farms. But yeah. Someone is... have you seen TV Guy, another No Villains Are Safe channel? Yes, I looked at TV Guy. Are you the person who commented for me to look it up? I love when people do that, by the way. I always appreciate when people say, Jackson, check out this channel. Like, I really do. So never think, if you're, like, going to say that, never think, ooh, am I annoying him or something? You're not. I love my community. I love when you tell me, hey, look at this channel. Even if you're telling me to look at a channel that someone else has told me, like maybe no one told me, you know. So I love when people do that. That's how I found out about Alex Griffin, and we got an incredible stream out of it not too long ago. Was just because someone commented about it. Yeah, TV Guy. Yeah, I looked at them. They look the same as No Villains Are Safe. They might be a little off my radar. They don't cover shows that I usually cover. They're on the list, but they're not high on the list. I'll put it that way. But yeah. Okay. Any turtle name ideas? I'm adopting one. Nosferatu. based off of one of the most popular videos on the Jackson Finale YouTube channel. Nosferatu. Nosferatu is, it's so funny because I hate Nosferatu and Modern SpongeBob so much, but the fact that Nosferatu was put in Modern SpongeBob made my career as a YouTuber. So I don't know. It's kind of mixed feelings on Nosferatu and Modern SpongeBob, huh? It's kind of how I feel about SpongeTruths. Like, I hate the existence of SpongeTruths, but like, SpongeTruths is like making me money. Like, the fact that I'm covering SpongeTruths is like genuinely profitable for me. This is the most ethical way to profit off of AI, guys. I figured it out. This is how you can profit off of AI in an ethical way. You just criticize garbage AI channels for views. I figured it out. I cracked the code. You want to name your turtle Turtwig? That's a great name for a turtle. I approve. All right, and I'm a YouTuber, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what good names sound like. So Turtwig is a good name. All right, I gotta actually start. I could talk to the chat all day, guys. Chat. I see we all like asking me questions. If you want me to have a better chance of answering your questions, try to catch the video game streams. I'm planning on doing a couple more video game streams where I play SpongeBob games. And they get less viewership than usual, probably because all this AI stuff, it draws people in. But if you're like, I want to ask Jackson questions, the video game streams are like the times to do it. Because when I'm playing the games, I like have commentary on the games themselves, but I don't have as much to say about just the game. So I like to use it as an opportunity to engage with the chat, all that sort of stuff. Will you play Battle for Bikini Bottom? Yeah, I'll probably play all of them. My relationship to video game content on YouTube is complicated. I have had a much better success rate covering AI channels, and of course my covering SpongeBob has been tremendously successful. I've never really been able to make video game content work that well. So yeah, so I don't really know. I don't know how much I'll be playing video games. I don't want to promise it, but it's something I'm trying. All right. Have you seen the SpongeBob Diaries video where they compare Ink Lemonade to an airstrike? Yes, I've seen Ava's video on it. I haven't seen the actual video. I don't think we'll watch the actual video. All right. Let's get into it. Wait, let me check. My hair look good? Look all right? I got a little strand there. All right. Now we're good. I'm so in the corner of this. I think I need to like lower. I can't lower my camera here. It's unfortunate. All right. How's my sound? Do I sound good? I got a new stand, so I want to be sure if the mic is close enough to my face that you can all hear me. And that I'm not blowing out. Just made a couple of changes to the interface lately. All right. So SpongeBob Diaries. I have been requested to look at SpongeBob Diaries a decent amount. I see it often, and I've generally said no. I like, they have 394 subscribers. Like, they got 24 views on their post 3 days ago. Like, I don't know what I can do to make SpongeBob Diaries' life worse than it already is. Like this channel's not going to be around for much longer, guys. Like, it'll be gone before SpongeTruths, you know? Like, at least SpongeTruths. Okay, so the reason that I cover these AI channels, SpongeTruths, No Villains Are Safe, the reason that I cover these channels is because people watch them. And I think that's a problem. Like, that bothers me. It bothers me that people watch SpongeTruths. They've been getting pretty pitiful viewership lately, SpongeTruths. But like, when I started covering SpongeTruths, let's say when I really started to cover SpongeTruths would have been around. Let me just check something. Hold on. Okay. When I first started covering SpongeTruths, it would have been this one, the SpongeTruths Bizarro Bottom video, because the SpongeTruths Bizarro Bottom video ripped off my Bizarro Bottom video. So that is really when I started covering SpongeTruths. And if you look at the videos that came out around this time, 8 months ago now, wow, I've been covering SpongeTruths for a long time. If you look at the videos that came out around the time that SpongeTruths did their Bizarro Bottom video, they ripped off Skin Theory, got 169,000, 159,000, 648,000. Like, they were getting, like, their lows was 40,000, maybe 35. There's 30. This is like the lowest one around then. But they were getting hundreds. 30 is like, these are like the lows, is they get to 30s. And some of these have been around for a while, so some of them were probably lower when they first came out. But like, still, these are some pretty crazy numbers for a channel that is of the quality of SpongeTruths. And we all know the quality of SpongeTruths if we're a regular viewer of the Jackson Finelli podcast. But more recently, SpongeTruths has been tanking. And I think I've had something to do with it. I do. Ava too. Ava's been, Ava versus AI. Ava trashes SpongeTruths as well. So I think that's raised awareness. I think a lot of people who didn't really know that SpongeTruths was AI, or even that they were bad. Like, because you could probably watch a whole SpongeTruths video and not pay that much attention to it. Like, that's certainly possible. But yeah, okay, so SpongeTruths. So the reason that I cover SpongeTruths, the reason that I cover No Villains Are Safe, is because people watch them. And I think that is indicative of a broader social problem, that people watch SpongeTruths, that SpongeTruths gets views, is a way for us to see that there is an issue with media literacy in the population. A world where videos of this quality can get over 1.6 million viewers is a world that is in trouble in just a little bit. It might not be the biggest issue on planet Earth, like I'm sure it's not. I'm sure that there are bigger problems, I'm sure there are bigger problems in the world, but this is the issue that I am drawn to. This is the issue that I think that I am uniquely equipped to handle. So it's the issue that I've taken on. So with that being said, why would I cover SpongeBob Diaries? They don't get views. So these videos are not working. They aren't getting people to view them. But I do think I've been convinced to cover SpongeBob Diaries from Ava's recent anti-AI video. Which AI SpongeBob channel is the worst? This video is just even the fact that all of the tiers are F, and then like F minus is the tiers. They're all F tier. I thought that was really funny. He's a funny guy, Ava. But in the which AI SpongeBob channel is the worst, Ava talked about SpongeBob Diaries, because Ava covers SpongeBob Diaries. I think, see, it doesn't not come up. Oh, because he doesn't call him SpongeBob Diaries in the title. But let's see, this is one on SpongeBob Diaries, and then they also did one on, there it is, AI SpongeBob channel warns about AI. Hold on, let me just fix this. Would you ever do a video reacting to the SpongeBob subreddit criticizing Ava? I think I need to do a video on the SpongeBob subreddit criticizing me at this point. Yeah, it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind as a video topic. SpongeBob subreddit is. I don't want to go too much on a tangent on it, but they say, like, you get all these posts on the SpongeBob subreddit that say stuff like, people always criticize modern SpongeBob, or like, SpongeBob doesn't have to have a story or whatever, and they don't have arguments for why. They just state these things, and then they just live in a bubble. It's a whole thing. Well, but yeah, we'll do that in a future stream. So Ava talked about SpongeBob Diaries, and at first, I mean, you know, it's his channel. Like, I'm not gonna tell, you know, I didn't think it was bad that he covered it. I basically just said, like, at the time, I said I personally wouldn't cover SpongeBob Diaries because I don't think that SpongeBob Diaries is a problem. I don't think that they are indicative of a social problem. I think that they're just a dummy who doesn't know what they're doing, and that doesn't really lead to any social consequences. However, I have been convinced otherwise. I have found that there can be a value in criticizing SpongeBob Diaries. So as I criticize SpongeBob Diaries today, I'm not going to criticize it from a standpoint of how do people watch this, or why are people watching this? Why is this successful? What are the because it's not. But what I do want to do is I want to get into the psyche of a person like SpongeBob Diaries, someone who wants to be SpongeTruths, and why this channel fails and why this channel, at least for a time, succeeded. So one thing about SpongeBob Diaries that I think sets them apart from any channel like this, and might be a part of why they're failing, so something about SpongeBob Diaries that I think sets them apart a lot, and is probably the spiciest thing about them, is that they do a lot of, like, well, first off, they actually address the existence of AI. Like, that's odd, right? Like, there's no SpongeTruths video that acknowledges the existence of AI. At least I don't think there is. You know, and there are SpongeTruths videos, like, for example, I guess like, you've completely missed SpongeBob's political genius. We'll just talk about that one. Like, they did this. I talked about this one a while ago in my, you know, about how AI, like, teaching people about politics is silly. But in this video, SpongeTruths talked about SpongeBob, and they compared it to real world politics badly. Again, you should check out my video on it. But SpongeTruths, something that SpongeTruths has never done is talk about AI. Like, there's never been a SpongeTruths video where SpongeTruths is like, and all of those other, there's a bunch of SpongeBob channels that use AI now. Like, isn't that odd? Like, which is something that you'll hear from, I think, most human SpongeBob creators would, at least in passing, say something like, ooh, you know, oh, there's all these AI SpongeBob channels now. Like, don't those suck? Like, even just as a one-off, if not having a whole video about it. But obviously SpongeTruths isn't going to address the existence of AI because they use AI, so they don't want to mention it. But SpongeBob Diaries is bold that they say this stuff about, like, a SpongeBob episode predicted AI girlfriends, or the one that Ava covered. That was about smart artificial intelligence. Where is it? Where's that one? Oh, that one. This one was just about smart. It just was a crappy review of the episode Smart Artificial Intelligence, and it's actually their only video that has, like, somewhat okay views, and even then, like, I guess for a channel of this size, 16K views wouldn't be bad, but compared to what came after it, it clearly was an outlier. But like the fact that it even addresses AI. But another thing that SpongeBob Diaries does is it's almost conspiratorial, I guess I would say. Maybe not conspiratorial. I mean, it could be conspiratorial. I guess I'd have to watch it. But it's like, I guess it's trying to address their videos really address social issues. Like SpongeBob predicted that AI would replace your doctor. I haven't heard of this as a like social problem. Like I know like there are people who like use AI for therapy and like that's a thing, and like New York passed a law that like AI can't give medical advice or something. Like they're trying to pass a law. I don't want to give misinformation, you know. So I don't know what this is talking about, but like the fact that it's trying, or like this SpongeBob episode predicted AI girlfriends, you know, like the subject of, you know, just like these sorts of kind of hot button social issues is what they're trying to talk about. And I think that that's very odd, especially because they don't exactly connect to SpongeBob episodes. I think the only way to really start to get SpongeBob Diaries, I think, which one should we watch? So their past couple of videos, 24 views 3 days ago, 49 views 10 days. YouTube is counting them out. Just completely dropped. Another thing about SpongeBob Diaries, Ava pointed this out, so credit to Ava for pointing this out. In SpongeBob Diaries description, they used to say we use like AI in the video making process, and they've since took it out. They've always, yeah, they used to have an AI disclaimer. Watch the most pathetic video. What's the most pathetic video? What does that mean? Most pathetic? Fake smile video? I'm confused. Fake smile? What's this fake smile? He's broken. Oh, fake smile. Why SpongeBob was never happy. 4 months ago. I want to do a more recent one. We'll start with a more recent one. Maybe I'll go with that one. They might mean least viewed video. What's their least viewed video? Well, the most recent one, but that might not one. The SpongeBob, the episode that showed they lied to your face. 53 views 3 months ago. It'll blow up any day now, guys. Okay. I think we just got to get in. I think we just got to get into one. Most recent? Nah, most recent seems boring. SpongeBob predicted you'll never own a home. Okay, well, let's do their most recent video. SpongeBob predicted you'll never own a home. Okay. Already, I mean, like, let's say I didn't know this channel was AI. Let's say I didn't know anything about this. Predicted you'll never own a home. Well, that's a social issue that I can get behind. Home ownership is a big problem. Yeah. Yeah, there was a time where it was easier to own a home, and now it's not. I wonder why that is, and what does that have to do with SpongeBob? I could accept the premise of that. SpongeBob can be used to talk about social issues. I've done that on my channel. If you watch my Magic Conch video. My Magic Conch video is very much like that. Was a SpongeBob episode about religion. You look at the Magic Conch episode, and you can compare it to real-world political issues. This is a valid kind of content. Let's see how SpongeBob Diaries screwed it up. Okay. And playback speed.
Cardboard box. Squidward's living in a cardboard box in an alley.
Spare change.
A cardboard box. Squidward's living in a cardboard box in an alley.
Spare change.
A cardboard box. Squidward's living in a cardboard box in an alley. I guess you could call that an opening line.
Change. Spare change, ma'am.
And then the rent for the box goes up. The box gets repossessed. He has nowhere left to go. Bikini Bottom.
What? And then the rent for the box goes up. Yeah, I think that's a joke, bro. I think that the joke is that he's so poor he can't even afford to live in a box. All right, I shouldn't criticize too much. 16 seconds in.
Box goes up. The box gets repossessed. He has nowhere left to go. Bikini Bottom is the only place on Earth where you can be evicted from a box you don't even own.
Okay, so I guess like that premise of, because it is taking it too seriously. Like the joke is that Squidward is so broke that he can't afford to live in a box. Like it's not saying that Bikini Bottom has this like thing where you can't even live in a box or whatever. Like that's like clearly the joke. But like, I guess in the context of like a theory video, you could kind of be like, man, Bikini Bottom's really dystopian, like maybe like you could you could win me over on that as a theory. So I could kind of get where it's coming from that.
That's the actual plot of Can You Spare a Dime? Season 3.
That is not the plot of Can You Spare a Dime. That is a joke within Can You Spare a Dime. The plot of Can You Spare a Dime is don't let your friends take advantage of your kindness. That's did you say plot or story?
Evicted from a box you don't even own. That's the actual plot of Can You Spare a Dime?
Yeah, so the plot of Can You Spare a Dime is Squidward moves in with SpongeBob after he loses his job at the Krusty Krab and starts being a mooch. That's the plot of Can You Spare a Dime. What you're describing is a thing that happened in Can You Spare a Dime. That's not the plot. So see how like when you don't know what these terms are, it spreads the misunderstanding of what those terms are. Obviously this video got I am the 26th you know what's funny? There are more people watching this stream right now. There's almost 200 people. This is there are 8 times more people watching this through my stream than watch the actual video. And of course, even with YouTube views, like 25 views, most of them clicked off after like 4 seconds of hearing the garbage voice. Anyway, I am the 26th viewer and the rest of you are the next 200. But like, yeah, like no one watched this, but also like, so let's talk about like SpongeBob Diaries as a creator. Like who let's speculate. Who is SpongeBob Diaries? Who's behind the channel? Who is it? Is it perhaps a tech bro? Like, cause that's the general leading theory of who's behind SpongeTruths. It's definitely who's behind No Villains Are Safe is a tech bro. You can even see it's like some kind of like company or something with No Villains Are Safe. These content farms, they're run by these tech bros, and they see AI and they see YouTube and they see people making YouTube videos as just another part of their portfolio. And I think it's safe to assume that SpongeBob Diaries is the same, because they allegedly have an actual voice actor that isn't a AI voice. I find that kind of hard to believe. This voice sounds pretty AI to me. Like even more so than any of the other ones. I don't know. You can't really prove it these days, you know? You can prove when a voice is not AI because they don't sound like garbage, but if a voice sounds like garbage, it could just be AI. It could just be a garbage voice actor. Like, I don't know. You know, like, this is the thing about plausible deniability. But, like, but even so, they have to pay an editor to do this. Like, this is an 11-minute video, and it's highly edited. So they probably had to pay someone at least $100 for this 25-view video. So there's some kind of financing going on for SpongeBob Diaries. There's got to be. But something that is about, hey, thank you, Nolan Stoffer 9405 for the $5. My brain is in recovery mode from all these high-level ideas. Thank you, SpongeBob Diaries. Yes, SpongeBob Diaries. This is the most viewed. Oh, I just kicked my camera a little bit. Am I still in the right shot? Yes, SpongeBob Diaries. Enjoy it. This is the most watched your videos are ever going to be. So what was I saying? So it just speaks to kind of I think like what I would kind of just say to SpongeBob Diaries I'd be like, if you think that if you don't even know what like plot means, like to the point where you would call the cardboard box joke the plot of Can You Spare a Dime, you don't understand anything about storytelling or SpongeBob. Now, maybe the AI just spit that out. And if so, like the AI doesn't understand what a plot is, like, and that makes sense that it wouldn't be able to identify what a plot is. Only a person can really do that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm starting to see here.
2002. Squidward quits the Krusty Krab in a huff.
Not anymore, Mr. Krabs. I quit.
So this is another just AI common thing with AI channels. Squidward quits the Krusty Krab in a huff, puts in footage of that scene when it's redundant. Whenever I put in footage from a scene, whenever you hear the characters talk in my videos, it's because I decided that it was absolutely necessary for the audience to hear what was going on. This is padding.
And within a week, he loses his house, downgrades to a box,
and within a week, he loses his house. So that's kind of a funny thing with like, that's definitely an AI thing. It doesn't say that it, does it say that it was a week? It definitely wasn't a week. It was way longer. Because the way that SpongeBob addresses Squidward when he's homeless is as if they hadn't seen each other in a long time. Way more than a week, I would think. Yeah, this is just going to be a straight recap of Can You Spare a Dime? Well, maybe not, because it says it predicted you'll never own a home, so I think it's going to tie it into a broader political conversation. I think it just cuts to him in the streets with no time frame. I'm pretty sure that's the joke, yeah. A title card that says 1 week later would be way less funny than it just cutting right to him being in the box. So that's just AI adding a detail for no reason. Another way that AI spreads misinformation is that it will just add and then a week later, because AI thinks that sounds right, so it'll just put that.
It's priced out of that, too. People online have argued for 20 years that Mr. Krabs pays him so little that a single missed paycheck leads to homelessness.
No, people have not argued that for 20 years. I'm pretty sure that the explanation for why he's homeless is that it's a cartoonish exaggeration of how he couldn't keep his life together after being fired from the Krusty Krab. I don't think that's led to a 20-year argument about Mr. Krabs not paying him a lot. I think we know that Mr. Krabs doesn't pay. I mean, he pays a minimum wage. He's a cashier. Like, he shouldn't, like, that's kind of the point.
It plays like a gag. Then you set it next to the number the next missed paycheck leads to homelessness. It plays like a gag.
It plays like a gag. It is a gag. It is a gag. It is meant to. So I do think that you don't always have to acknowledge something like what I said. Like, the point of the joke of him getting the box taken away is it is cartoonishly exaggerating how broke he is. That is why that happened in the story. So from there, you could take that overly seriously for the sake of a theory or for the sake of something else to maybe make a broader point. But this is just doing it wrong. It's just doing it all wrong. Like, it's not so much that it's subverting. I think it's actually like this. It's because it's AI. Like, AI doesn't understand like the nuance. So, like, if there was a theory, like, let's say there was a theory about, like, Bikini Bottom is so, the Bikini Bottom hyper-capitalism theory or whatever. I don't know if it'd really be that great of a theory, but it's like, let's say that was a theory. And someone who is a skilled theory maker like Alex Bale made that theory. And they took that scene as evidence for that theory. I think that's something that a real person who would use that as evidence for a silly theory or use that as evidence to make a broader point would be someone who would understand that that moment is meant to represent something, and then in that they can comically choose to ignore it. Whereas I feel like with this, it's just taking it seriously as if that is that. And that's really the problem here. Or actually, I guess that would only apply to it being a theory. If you're trying, because this video isn't a theory. This video is trying to make a broader point. It's trying to make a broader point about how Can You Spare a Dime has something to do with the housing market in real life, that the episode is making a commentary on the difficulty of owning a home. The episode isn't about that, though. If you compare this to my Magic Conch video, my Magic Conch video is a very similar kind of premise. I take a SpongeBob episode, Club SpongeBob, and I talk about how the things that happen to Squidward at the hands of the power imbalance that is created by the Magic Conch are the same things that happen to groups of people when religion takes power. This is a one-to-one comparison. The things that happen in the episode to Squidward are the same things that happen to real people in real life. You just replace not getting food, which is what happens to Squidward, with not getting rights, if you take it to real people, to marginalized groups who are hurt by religion-based policies. That is the premise of this video and how I argued it. The problem with this one is that Can You Spare a Dime is not about that. Like, it just isn't. What happens to Squidward... In fact, Can You Spare a Dime is saying that the reason that Squidward is homeless is because of his own choices, because he made bad choices. He was arrogant, and he quit the Krusty Krab. He decided to leave. He was cocky about all this better stuff, and then he mooches off of his friend. So Squidward is in the wrong here. So the episode is not saying that, it's not making a comment on the housing market. That's not to say that the episode is pro-housing market. It's not saying the system is fair and Squidward should be grateful for capitalism or whatever. Like, it's not saying any of that. The episode's just not about that. It's just an interpersonal story about two guys, and one guy is mooching off of the other because the one guy's in a bad spot. That's what the story's about. So you really just can't make this connection, but we'll see how they try.
Then you said it next to the number the National Association of Realtors puts out, and the gag goes quiet. They clock the median first-time homebuyer in a...
Wait, what? What did that say?
Paycheck leads to homelessness. It plays like a gag. Then you said it next to the number the National Association of Realtors puts out.
Said it next to the number the National... Okay, so we got a source.
And the gag goes quiet. They clock the median first-time homebuyer in America at 40 years old. An all-time high. A decade ago, that buyer was in their early 30s. Now,
I don't know how true that is. Like, so it could be. I mean, it's pretty bad. So okay. So it's saying that it's not a gag because, well, what does the age of a person owning a home have to do with the Squidward living in a box and the box being taken away? What is the connection there? It doesn't have anything to do with the age. He just had his cardboard box taken away. Squidward lost his house. Squidward was already a homeowner. So what does it have to do with not owning a home? The episode has nothing to do with buying a house. Squidward already owned his house. And it's almost, it's because it's a cartoon. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that Squidward would own a whole house when he's a cashier. Unless, I guess you could if you had some kind of like family money or something, but You know, even back in 1999, that wasn't exactly realistic. It's just because the reason that Squidward owns a house is just so that he would have a house, so that he would have a setting that he could be in in the show. That's the real reason Squidward owns a house. So I don't know what it's trying to connect with this.
Exact figure is contested. Redfin runs the numbers using census data and lands closer to 35. The realtors stand by 40. Every source agrees on one thing, the part nobody disputes, and that is the direction. Up. The first rung of the ladder.
Just going on and on. That is the direction. Up. Yeah, we get it. Just say people have to buy, like, just say houses are expensive, bro. Like, it's funny that it's like citing these sources. Like, you don't actually need a source to I feel like if I was doing a video and I offhandedly said, yeah, like people are older when they buy homes now because of the economy. I feel like I can just say that, you know, like there are things that need sources. I don't want to discourage like using sources to prove points. But, like, come on, you know, like, it's clearly throwing these things in to sound better.
Keeps moving higher, and a whole generation is jumping for it. Squidward didn't slide out of the middle class because he was reckless. He slid because the gap between what he earned and what shelter cost had quietly become uncrossable. And the first stop...
That's not what the story is. Wait, that's coming out of nowhere. Source what? He lost his job, so he became homeless. There's no... This is not what happened in the episode.
Rumble took him all the way down. That's what the box gag gets right. There's no soft landing left in the system. Home to box to nothing. And the whole drop takes about a week.
Again with the week. Where do you get a week from? Yes, it's too extreme. So cartoons do that. Cartoons are all about extremes. That's how the story, that's what makes it easy for kids to understand. So I've been getting a lot of comments lately that I can't stand. I'm going to address this in a future stream. I'm going to address it really deeply, but I get comments all the time where they say, when I criticize modern SpongeBob, they say it's a kid's show. And I always have the same response. If you comment this on one of my videos, you're going to get the same response because it's an easy response. And it's, why do you think kids deserve bad media? I say that to every single person who comments that. Because they never have an answer beyond that. It just traps them because there's no argument for it. Like all they can really say is, I think kids are dum-dums. And then I'll be like, okay, well, like I think that kids aren't dum-dums and that kids should have good media. Anyway, this is kind of an example of that. Squidward being homeless after having a job is a way that this can be a kid's show and kids can still understand that that's what the story is saying. If it was more subtle, like how it would be like, oh yeah, like Squidward is struggling financially now. Oh, Squidward has to cut back on his grocery bill every week. Like that wouldn't read, that wouldn't read to a kid. So you got to have him be in a cardboard box. So like the extreme that it's trying to say is like evidence of it having some kind of bigger, broader thing. It's just not a proper connection. And it actively harms the ability to have a deeper discussion because no one's going to really be able to take you seriously if you don't actually properly make the arguments.
Where he lands, because that's the real prediction. He doesn't find another place.
There. You can come with me.
He moves into SpongeBob's pineapple and becomes a permanent house guest, a grown adult asleep in somebody else's spare room, slowly turning his host into a full-time servant. First-time buyers used to account for roughly half of the market. This year, they're 21%, a record low. The other 79% are people who already own. Sit with that. The people still buying homes are mostly those who already have one. And
Okay, so it seems like... So, like, here's what just happened. It just described a part of the plot where it said Squidward moved in with SpongeBob, became a permanent house guest. He's living on someone else's couch, or he's living in someone else's bed. And then it says this completely unrelated thing about how 79% of people who bought new homes are people who already own homes. And like, yeah, that's a problem, but it's got nothing to do with SpongeBob. Like, just make a channel where you talk about political issues then. Make a channel where you talk about the economy. Like, or find an episode of SpongeBob that actually ties into this. There might not be one. And like, that's fine. If like, find a different show that's about it. But like, it just isn't going to, it just doesn't make any sense for you to, like, why are you talking about the plot of Can You Spare a Dime and then talking about social issues with housing? These things are not connected.
Already have one, and everyone else is on the couch, calling it temporary, the way Squidward calls the pineapple temporary, and everyone else is on the couch, calling it temporary, the way...
And everyone else is on the couch. No, they're not. They're renting. That's the problem. The people who don't own homes rent homes. They're not comparable to Squidward. Squidward is living at his friend's place. He's not paying rent. So that's not the same. You're making connections where there are none.
Squidward calls the pineapple temporary right up until SpongeBob is fluffing his pillows. Notice who funds the rescue. It isn't a job. It isn't a bootstrap. It's SpongeBob's generosity, an existing homeowner absorbing the cost for someone who couldn't make it on their own.
I'm sorry? Wait, hold on. Wait, what? SpongeBob chose to take him in because he was his friend. What are you talking about? What is that even a connection to? Are you saying that SpongeBob is like the landlords? And the landlords are the victims because people live in their place, but people pay them to live in their place. And it's not out of generosity that landlords have people live in their places that they own. I don't know what you're on about, SpongeBob. This is why, and again, like, let's talk about, this is why people don't watch them. Like, this is incoherent. You know, if we look at SpongeTruths, like, SpongeTruths videos can be incoherent. They can be. Like, let's talk about, you know, like this one that we did, what SpongeBob characters are actually doing in the background. All this video is, I covered it, it's my most recent SpongeTruths video. All that this video did is go over, it just recapped the existence of certain background characters. That was the whole video. And that's bad content, sure. But it doesn't not make sense. So, like, that's why this is able to get... I mean, it got fewer views. I think that this got fewer views because people are starting to know that SpongeTruths is AI, so less people are watching him. I think that that's really the reason why this got fewer views. This video's quality is no worse than videos that got 600,000 views. It really isn't. And I say that saying that these videos didn't deserve high views, not that this video deserved better views. You know what I mean? But, like, this video is no worse than any other SpongeTruths video. But it's like, there is something that SpongeTruths understands enough about YouTube that allows them to survive. And SpongeBob Diaries just has no idea. They just don't get it. They just think that... I think what it is that SpongeBob Diaries, whoever's behind it, they think... Whoever's behind SpongeBob Diaries thinks people want to watch SpongeBob stuff and people care about big hot button topics like the housing market. And it just puts those things together and it doesn't have any understanding beyond that. And that's what makes SpongeBob Diaries not a threat. And that's what makes SpongeTruths a threat, is that they understand that. You missed the awful SpongeTruths video. Did they post a new one? No? Oh yeah, the most recent SpongeTruths video is 3 hours. You notice this? It's a to fall asleep to video. It's funny because I just did one. I just did my own to fall asleep video. I did 2 recently. I did one on, look, 10 hours of destroying SpongeTruths to fall asleep to. And it's the same shot too. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Should I watch the 3 hours? It's probably just a compilation, right? It's just a compilation of other ones. Your 10 hours of SpongeTruths fall asleep videos ready to go. Oh, well, thank you. Well, it's just a compilation of my other ones. Is robot voice fine? There is an Ice Age YouTuber that uses a robot voice to communicate because he does not want to use his real voice. It is not AI and it is not bad either. What, it's like a GPS voice or whatever, or like a Stephen Hawking voice? I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think at that point it's just bad content. Like I think that's not exactly immoral because like you hear it and you know it's not trying to be a person. But like I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't sit and watch a video that has a text to speech voice. Like, I think just whoever that is, I think they should get over whatever it is that makes them not want to use their real voice. Or if they genuinely can't speak, they should hire a voice actor, and they'd probably be better off. Just for them and their channel. I'm not really, I don't really have a moral comment on it. I just think that whatever their channel is, they're shooting themselves in the foot. I think SpongeTruths may be aware of your channel. Maybe, perhaps. Perhaps.
That's no longer a throwaway detail. More than a quarter of first-time buyers now receive a cash gift or loan from family to cover the down payment. And the average handout is around $32,000. The honest version of the American Dream in 2026 has a cosigner, and his name is usually Dad. Those without a SpongeBob in their corner don't get the pineapple. They
Look at this AI. Oh, I just moved my camera. I just totally moved over. Hold on. I accidentally kicked my camera. I'm so on the bottom of my box here. I need to lower my camera a bit, I think. Would I be able to do that just real quick? Badly did that screw me up. Oh, it's a little better. Let me just adjust my box here. Yeah, it's a bit better. I just felt like I was so on the bottom of my box. Let me just fix that up. Oh, I have room for another Pokemon card behind me. Let's do Mewtwo Star, huh? That's a good one. There we go. All right. Little technical shift there. Okay, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. AI Squidward in a box.
stay in the box. Then the show goes for the throat. For the first time on record, baby boomers have just surpassed millennials as the largest group of homebuyers. Prices
All right, is this all the same?
The highest share anyone's measured. Picture the open house. A cash offer lands next to a 35-year-old who spent 8 years scraping together a down payment. The cash offer wins. It always wins. The board isn't tilted against you. The board is owned by the other player. That is where the gate comes in. Rewind 2 seasons to Squidville. A literal golden gate.
Squidville.
Happiness, I'll be moving in now.
Are you alone?
No, I mean, yes.
Are you now, or have you ever been a sponge?
No.
No
Wait, is it tying in?
sponges, no starfish, octopi only. The ad on his television
Wait, what does that have to do with you'll never own a home? It was talking about like how baby boomers own all the homes or whatever. That's based on, Species. I think it's supposed to be Squidville. Okay. Squidville is often, I would say, misinterpreted to be about racism. I don't think that Squidville is about racism. I don't think that's the point of the episode. I think that SpongeBob and Patrick being a sponge and a starfish represents a kind of person, personality-wise, that they don't want in Tentacle Acres. And you can go from there racism. I'm not saying that there's no racial story in Squidville that you can get about how sponges and starfish are not welcome in Tentacle Acres, and how all of the people in Tentacle Acres are squids, or are octopus, actually, because Squidward, but octopus. Like, it is a part of the story, absolutely, but it's not the main part of the story. Squidville is about Squidward living in one place and learning that it's better to live where he lived before. Because where he lived before had different people in it. And for that, you can apply that to racism. Absolutely. But that's not the main thing that the story is about. Whereas, like, Squirrel Jokes is an episode that is about racism. The story is about racism. The story is you should not mock people, or you should not single out a certain group and mock them based on their, in Squirrel Jokes, it's species, but in real life, it's race or ethnicity. Or any other characteristic, really. But Squirrel Jokes is mainly about racism.
Only. The ad on his television promises a place where happiness is just a suction cup away. It is the most honest cartoon ever drawn about a suburb because it says the quiet part at full volume. The product isn't the house. The product is the wall between you and the people who got priced out. And inside the gate?
What? What are you talking? It's up priced out. SpongeBob and Patrick can't live there because they're a different species.
Every house is the same. Squidward gets exactly what he was chasing. A hall of mirrors. Identical lawns after identical lawns. And he's more miserable behind the gate than he was outside it. The dream sold him a copy of itself. And here's the part the episode quietly nails. There are only so many of those houses. Tentacle Acres is finite, fenced, fully built out. Real.
Wait, what? It doesn't. That's not. They didn't say it quietly. They didn't say that at all. That's not a plot point in Squidville. That there's a finite. Who knows that? You don't see the whole place. Maybe they're building more somewhere. What are you talking about?
Realtors estimate that the country is short something like 4.5 million homes right now. Squidward squeezing into the last identical unit on New Live Street is the whole supply crisis in one shot.
This actually is pulling from nowhere. That's okay. This is another thing. This is another reason why this channel isn't doing well. It's pulling this from nowhere. Like, at least with SpongeTruths. And here I am. I'm like talking about a Sponge. When I say that SpongeTruths does it better, I mean that SpongeTruths is bad, but SpongeTruths is successful. So the reason that SpongeTruths is successful is that they are not that incoherent. SpongeTruths has never said anything that is that incoherent. That is that not related to the episode. Which means that there has to be some kind of discretion on SpongeTruth's part to go through the AI scripts and do something with it. This is actually almost kind of proof that AI can't just write a script on its own. In order to get one over on people by using AI to, like, produce content faster, you have to actually go through and use some discretion, because this is what happens when you don't use any. When you just use the script that it spits out at you. Now, obviously, you shouldn't use any AI in anything. Generative AI has no place in making YouTube videos. It just doesn't. Like, I would never use AI in my videos, and it's not even a principled thing. Like, I don't not use AI in my videos because, oh man, like, I'm so against it morally. Like, because that sets up a narrative where it's like, yeah, AI would really help me. Like, I would be able to make videos. So I'd be able to make 3 videos a week like SpongeTruths, I guess, used to. SpongeTruths has not been posting that much lately, but SpongeTruths would usually do 2 or 3 videos a week. Oh, I could make 3 videos a week like SpongeTruths. I just choose not to because I'm so noble. No, my videos would be trash if I used AI. That's why I don't use it. All right, as much as I want to take credit for being so noble for not using it, I don't use it because it's garbage, because it doesn't help, because my brain is better at making videos than a robot is. But for these people, these tech bros who own SpongeTruths, and definitely whoever runs SpongeBob Diaries, these are people where they are incapable of making something meaningful. And it's their own fault. I don't feel bad for them. They could learn. There are ways they could learn. They're not interested in learning because they don't care about these shows. They don't care about the things they're talking about. They don't care about the arts. They only care about it being another part of their portfolio. And they see that, oh, YouTube makes SpongeBob videos. You can have AI write SpongeBob videos, and it puts them in the running. And I think in looking at how... I think there's something comforting in the fact that you can still fail in doing that. I think that's something that is comforting about SpongeBob Diaries, and why I think it was good for me to cover them today, is that when we look at SpongeTruths, we can sometimes think, oh man, look at SpongeTruths. They just say, AI, write me a video, and then they have an AI voice a video, and they got to pay someone to edit it, but it basically works on their own. There is a person out there with no talent who's getting one over on everybody else. And in a lot of ways, that's true. In a lot of ways, SpongeTruths is getting one over on others. And it's why I attack them. You know, it's why I try to ruin their channel with my streams. It's why I do that. It's why I'm glad that I'm seeing them getting fewer views. It's why I hope I can take credit for the fact that they're getting fewer views. But there are barriers to entry. And there are things that these AI channels have to do in order to get views. And those things that they have to do require some level of talent when it comes to understanding the what people want to see. Am I saying that SpongeTruths is talented? No. I am saying that there is a weird medium where people who make this AI stuff have to have some understanding of the arts in order to get one over. And I think this is why we don't see that many AI channels. I'm something I'm noticing in doing this. When I started covering AI channels, when I started covering SpongeTruths, I thought that SpongeTruths was going to be one of 100. I thought that there was going to be so many SpongeTruths. I thought that when I was going to start doing streams, that just about all of my streams, my expectation going into this was that all of my streams were going to be a different AI channel. That was how I thought that this was going to go, is that it was going to be a different channel every time. Because my perception was that it would be so easy to make these AI channels that there would just be no shortage of them. They would be everywhere. Guys, there's not that many. There's really not. If we look at Ava's which AI SpongeBob channel is the worst, which I might go over this video in a future stream. I don't want to go over it today because it's just a little close to when it came out. Because I like Ava and I want Ava to get views himself. I don't want you to watch Ava's video through my video and then not view his. You could do that with SpongeBob Diaries. I don't care about SpongeBob Diaries. Don't view SpongeBob Diaries. They're terrible. But like, if we look at this here, like, look at this. So this is Ava's tier list of which AI SpongeBob channel is the worst. You'll see it's very funny. He has F, F minus, F minus minus, F minus minus minus, and F minus 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 minus. Cracks me up. This is a great video. You should watch it. So if we look down here, there are 7 channels. 7 channels that Ava ranked on this which AI SpongeBob channel is the worst. There's our old pal SpongeTruths. No Villains Are Safe. Scribble. No Villains Are Safe and Scribble are basically the same channel. Just on 2 channels, but they do the same thing. This is Abyssal Tunes. I was going to do an Abyssal Tunes stream. They haven't posted in 8 months. Their thumbnails are absolutely vile. Like, I genuinely, if I ever covered Abyssal Tunes, I would need to take a screenshot of their channel page, and I would need to censor some of their thumbnails because I just cannot in good conscience show that to my audience. They are that gross. But Abyssal Tunes hasn't posted in 8 months. SpongeBob Diaries is on the list. SpongeBob Diaries is a joke. They don't count. Cartoonology is failing. Cartoonology's got like 80 views on their last video or whatever. And then there's SpongeBob Universe. Like, these are not real channels. They don't do anything. These channels are not popular. And these were like the top ones that Ava had in his video. Like, they're really failing. And sometimes we've had this idea that, like, oh, AI is taking over SpongeBob YouTube. And there was a time where that was something to be concerned about, and I think we're kind of moving past that. I think we're moving past that a little bit. And it's putting me in a strange spot of what should I really be talking about with this stuff, because I think the social issue of AI channels being popular, I think it's kind of past. I think I think we've weathered the storm. I think the world has said no to these channels. And I think SpongeBob Diaries failing is just another part of that. This isn't to say that the fight is not over. This isn't to say that bad content doesn't still exist. I think that of all of the channels, SpongeTruths, I think, is on their way out. They could make a recovery. I don't know. But really, I think No Villains Are Safe is like they're the threat. I'd say, and by the way, No Villains Are Safe hasn't posted in a month. I don't know why. Scribble has been posting consistently lately. I don't know what's going on with No Villains Are Safe. But I think No Villains Are Safe is kind of the most dangerous kind of content. And there's a possibility, they don't put it in the regular description, but there is a possibility that No Villains Are Safe doesn't use AI. I think they do. Blue Shell Player, like there's stuff with it. But really the problem here is just shallow content. Shallow content that people want to watch. And SpongeBob Diaries doesn't fall under that. They really don't. This is not content that people want to watch. This is someone, and I think the reason I wanted to go over SpongeBob Diaries is the person, so there's a Venn diagram here. There's people who understand what people want to watch is one circle. Then there's another circle of what am I trying to say? So there's an overlap. There's I'm trying to figure out the argument here. It's hard to do off the top of my head. I know a Blue Shell Player when I see one. Have you seen this channel called Patrick Theorist? I keep getting it recommended. I'll check that in a bit. What was I saying? So SpongeBob Diaries represents a person who wants to make the AI content, but also is incapable of understanding what people want to see. And No Villains Are Safe is dangerous because they are the type of person or company or whatever that doesn't care about their audience, that has contempt for their audience, that just is meant to waste their audience's time with whatever is going to keep them watching videos. And they also understand what people want to see. And that is a dangerous combination because it leads to bad content that people still watch. It leads to a video that I'm sure amounts to just a bunch of recapping of episodes of Family Guy and The Simpsons that vaguely have to do with the main characters' jobs and get 136,000 views, which I guess wasn't enough for them because it looks like they're quitting. I don't know. I can't call it just yet that No Villains Are Safe is done for. It's very weird that they haven't posted in this amount of time, in 4 weeks, when they haven't really been on the down low. Like if SpongeTruths suddenly stopped posting, I'd kind of be like, I get it. They've been on the down low. That's them giving up. I don't know. What did someone tell me to look at? Patrick Theory? What is it? Patrick Theorist. Patrick, they have 113 subscribers. Their most popular video is 2.5k views. How long have they been going? 2 weeks ago. Oh, they just started. The Patrick Star Theory. Who is Patrick? They're trying to the white thumbnail meta? Dude, we're like so done with that. Deep diving into conspiracy theories hidden behind Patrick Star. I guess. How does Patrick survive with no money? Sure, I guess in the spirit of looking at trash channels, let's see. How does Patrick survive with no money? Let's see.
In the season,
This is Patrick Theorist. Why not? It could be good for a laugh at the very least.
season 6 episode, The Card, Patrick says something that most people let slide right past them.
Look at this background. Why are there arrows pointing at all of the... It's like this background was made for another kind of theory that's saying like whose houses are these, and they just didn't realize that it had arrows in it. This is so weird already.
He looks at SpongeBob and says, "My landlord changed the lock again." That one line, 4 seconds, no fanfare. And
Does he say that? Patrick says he has a landlord in that episode. I never noticed that. I never thought about that. That's funny. Oh, hello. Thank you for the gift. Laura Leeden Parker. Thank you for the finger heart. Appreciate it.
then the episode moves on. But sit with that for a second. A landlord. Patrick has a landlord, which means Patrick owes someone rent, which means somewhere in Bikini Bottom there's a real financial arrangement that Patrick is expected to honor on a regular schedule with money, actual money.
Yeah, that's what a landlord is.
The kind you earn. The kind Patrick has never, in any episode, been shown earning in any reliable way. So how is that rent getting paid? And if it is not, how has Patrick not
Look at this. This has got to be an AI image. This is crazy. How would you even go about making this?
been thrown out? And more broadly, how does a starfish with no job, no savings, no skills, and no apparent plan manage to eat, live, and exist with the same comfort every single episode? That question sounds like a throwaway, something you shrug at and write off as cartoon logic, but the show has actually been answering it this whole time. The answer just is not the one you would expect. Let us start.
Voice doesn't sound like AI. Yeah, it doesn't, but it's just very boring. Like it's like, I guess it's trying to do like an Alex Bale theory, but it just does not have that same oomph of the theory.
Start with what we know for certain. Patrick does not have a job. This is not fan speculation. The show has told us directly across multiple seasons. In the season 2 episode Big Pink Loser, Patrick is devastated to discover that SpongeBob has an entire closet full of trophies, and he has none. Not one.
No trophies. Pointing to the trophies. How do people like actually like look at this and be like, this is okay to put out there?
One for anything. And the reason he has none is that he has
like, again, like this is like kind of the, I don't know anything about this channel. Someone just randomly recommended me, but like, I don't know. Let's even give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say this one's not a tech bro. Like, let's say it's just a random guy who just like discovered AI and is like, yeah, have AI write me a script about like SpongeBob. Like, how are you so delusional that you can't look at this and see that there's something wrong with it? Like, if you watch like maybe like my earliest videos, you can see that there's like, the editing is like not as finalized. You know, there are things that I learned about editing that were a little better. Things I learned about, you know, like audio and filming and stuff. But at least like if you look at my earlier stuff, you could see that like compared to more established like just watch any YouTube video and then look at your own video and be like, yeah, this like doesn't have the things that make people want to watch content. Like I don't get it.
never done anything, including holding down employment. When he tries to get a job at the Krusty Krab to win an award, he spends the whole episode directly copying SpongeBob's movements, mirror image, gesture for gesture, unable to produce.
Patrick mimicry, SpongeBob origin. How do these decisions get made? Just put in the footage from the episode. Like, what is this? This is more work. It's more work to do this with all this crazy editing stuff. You could just put in the footage of the episode.
A single independent action. He eventually wins a trophy for doing absolutely nothing longer than anyone else.
Recapping. Yep.
Show telling you who Patrick is. But the clearest evidence is season 5, the episode Pat No Pay. Patrick has not eaten in what feels like forever, and he shows up at the Krusty Krab in withdrawal. He orders 50 Krabby Patties with extra cheese. He eats all of them. Mr. Krabs brings him the bill, and Patrick reaches into his pockets, checks everywhere, searches himself thoroughly, and comes up completely.
What are you talking about? He just says, I don't have any money. Reaches everywhere. It's actually very similar to SpongeBob Diaries. Like, are we kind of seeing the comparison? Like how when you have AI go right from AI to recording, it's like it makes up little details. Like, this is the stuff that people are using to get ahead on YouTube. Like, this stuff doesn't help you. Guys, like, I think it's not even so much, I say that, like, you shouldn't use AI because it's, like, bad or something, but, like, it's literally not going to help you make content. Like, it just doesn't. It just does not.
Empty. He has not a single cent. And here's the detail that matters. He was not surprised. He tells Mr. Krabs his idea of paying is having a stomachache from eating too much. That is not a person who forgot his wallet. That is a person for whom money was never part of the calculation at all. Patrick showed up, ordered 50 items, and genuinely had no plan for how any of it would be paid for. Because
What is this image? What is this image? Look at this. How does this even happen? This is just a screenshot from the Krusty Krab training video. I would know. I used this shot in one of my videos. Why wouldn't you just use the original shot? Look at SpongeTruths over here. SpongeTruths cameo, guys. SpongeTruths cameo. Passamadapatar. Possum Adabatar. I can't pronounce your name. Possum Adabar. Would that be correct? Just joined the channel. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be trying to figure out some other perks I can do for like channel members and Patreon stuff. Yeah, guys, consider I guess I should do like some plugs or whatever on this. Let's on this creepy screen here. Make sure to subscribe, everybody. Let's all subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Jackson Family Podcast, link in the description. That's where you can watch all of these live stream stuff. You'll notice that the live stream stuff is not on the main channel. That's because it's on Jackson Family Podcast. You should go subscribe to that. Make sure to like the stream. And yes, I've been doing a lot more with channel memberships, with Patreon. I've really been discussing trying to do stuff. I am considering, I'm not going to promise it, but I know it's being talked about, so just check up on it. If you don't want to join unless there is one, don't join. We're thinking of doing some kind of like Discord sort of thing with like the community. We have not finalized that, so if that is the deal breaker of you wanting or not wanting to sign up for the Patreon or the channel membership, then that is fine. Wait for us to actually officially do it, but it is something we're considering. And getting support would probably make me consider it even further. I've got some Patreon tiers or channel memberships, and I really appreciate it. We're really getting to a crazy place with the channel right now. It's really in quite a good spot. We're getting to the point where I'm going to be able to make some really awesome videos for you guys coming up, and it's been really great. And I really thank all of the audience. Thank everyone for being there, and thank you, my Possum Adabar, the newest channel member. Thank you so much. I watch your videos every meal I eat. Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy.
he has never needed a plan. Someone else always absorbs the cost. Mr. Krabs makes him work it off, and Patrick destroys the restaurant. He eats the soap, he floods the freezer, he causes the trash compactor to explode. He does more damage than the bill was worth, and he walks out the other side none the poorer.
So this whole thing is, how does Patrick survive with no money? So this is a theory video, right? It's a theory. So here's a common pitfall with a lot of theory videos. So I'm actually currently writing a theory video. I am looking to, man, maybe I should announce it. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but if I pay a Patreon, would you review my script for a project I'm making? I'd like to have an opinion from an expert. I have a Patreon tier where I go over people's projects. What is it? Is it a... Because I don't have one for, like, feature films, because that'd be a lot of work for me. That would be more of a direct inquiry. But if it is a feature film, I mean, you could comment on the Patreon. Perhaps we could work something out. But you could check on the Patreon. I have some parameters of like what sort of things I can review in certain tiers. But yes. But yeah, that is a thing that I do. And it's up to you if you want me to discuss it on stream. That is also a part of it. But that is to your discretion. If you'd like to keep it to yourself, then that is totally okay. And I'll still go over it and give you notes. Script for a short story about 25 minutes. That would fall into the acceptable range. Yeah, you should check it out. Check it. Do I link Patreon in these streams? Should I do that? I think I'm going to do that now. Oh, I do. Okay, it's in the link is in the description of the stream. So you can find it there. Cool. I feel like I should I announce maybe we could do an official announcement. That could be fun. Let me find I wish I'd made the thumbnail before. All right, I'm going to announce. It's the first time. I've been talking about it for a while. I am going to formally announce the upcoming Jackson Finale SpongeBob theory video. You're the first to hear of it. It's going to be called the Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star Theory. The Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star Theory. I am very excited for it. I am looking to produce a trailer for it. If you're watching this on Jackson Finale Podcast, the trailer should be done and it should be linked in the description and you'd be able to go watch it. If you're watching this live right now, I haven't made the trailer yet. The Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star Theory. It's going to be based on the episode Sing a Song of Patrick and the how the background fish became an angry mob at Patrick's song and how their overreaction to Patrick's song, which, let's all be real, guys, is a great song. I mean, if you ever listened to Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star, you know, it's a little silly with the lyrics, sure, but like, song slaps, you know? Why are they so worked up about it? Well, I think I have come across an answer. But you're going to just have to wait for the actual theory to drop for that. It's a ton of fun. I'm really excited about it. It should be... I am aiming for it to premiere a week from this Saturday, July 25th, 2026. That is going to be my projected date for Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star. I think I'll actually have it where it'll be one of those videos where if you're like a channel member, you can watch it a day early. So if that's something, our new channel member in the chat is going to get to watch it a day early if I get it done in that time. It's It's a big project. So the reason I want to discuss this with theory stuff in the context of this one video. Nice April Fool's joke? No, it's very, very real. The Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star theory. Yep. That's my nice April Fool's joke. What is the actual theory? No, man, it goes so deep. It really goes so deep. It goes so deep. I'm telling you. There's so much to it. There's so much to it. There's so much to it. Writing is hard, so I use a pointy pencil. I did always kind of like the episode, but it feels like it has a bad lesson to me, as if it's telling children that if they aren't instantly good at art, they should just give up. I address that. And that's why I want to do this theory, because I feel like the theory of the Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star theory, it's a theory that I would do, because I always said that. People said, Jackson, why would you do a SpongeBob theory? Would you do like an Alex Bale SpongeBob theory kind of thing? And I had always said, like, well, no, because I had always said no, because the way that SpongeBob theories work is that they take the episodes really seriously, and they kind of they just do a lot of stuff that I don't usually do in my videos. My videos are about looking at the story and how the story succeeds and why the story succeeds. So what I had said is that if I was to ever do a theory, it would have to be a theory that is like my content, like what I make. And this one is like that. Is definitely like that. Nothing will top Squilliam theory. Well, I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I'll top him. I'm just trying to be in the running, So anyway, the reason I wanted to discuss my theory that I'm going to be making is that I'm having a little bit of experience with writing a theory. And what this does, and what a lot of AI theories do, as we noticed when we talked about the Mrs. Puff theories, and how so many AI channels stole the Mrs. Puff theories. So what a lot of theories do, or what a lot of these AI channel theories do that we're seeing here, is it takes a premise. How does Patrick survive with no money? And then it lists multiple episodes that say the exact same thing. So like it goes, in Big Pink Loser, Patrick doesn't have a job. In Pat No Pay, Patrick can't pay for Krabby Patties. Okay. That doesn't add anything. That doesn't add to the theory. We already know that he doesn't have a job because of Big Pink Loser. We don't need the Pat No Pay. And in my theory, every episode that I bring up that is a part of the evidence for the theory gives you a new piece of information that leads into it. SpongeTruths did this with the What If Mr. Krabs Has a Fetish video, where it's like, it was like 5 examples in a row of episodes that show that Mr. Krabs is cheap. It's like, we already know this, So that's what is going on here.
This is the pattern. Patrick creates a deficit. The world around him pays it. He continues. So what about The Rock? If we were talking about how Patrick survives, The Rock is where he lives. So The Rock should be the foundation of the answer. No rent means no overhead, and Patrick's overhead is already close to zero. No utilities visible in his house. Furniture made of sand. Food apparently sourced from wherever SpongeBob is eating. If The Rock is free, everything else gets easier. But here's the part that almost nobody caught. Patrick's rock is not his. In the season 12 episode Shell Games, it is revealed that what Patrick has been calling his house for the entire run of the show is actually the shell of a sea turtle named Tony, who has been
All right, so it's saying that so it's bringing up that the rock is a sea turtle, which of course was just contradicted in Home Away from Home. People have been commenting about that on my Home Away from Home video, where they went back to it just being a rock and not being a turtle. So that's a whole thing. So it's saying that if it's a turtle, he couldn't have had a landlord. That's kind of another thing too when you do theories. You don't really want to bring up something that like completely shatters the original theory, because yeah, if it's a landlord, I mean, I guess there'd be I guess the landlord could not realize that it's a turtle shell either. Maybe it could still make sense. I don't know. We'll see what's...
Sleep under the sand for over 30 years. Tony wakes up, realizes his shell is covered in dirt and hosting a small pink starfish, and wants it back. The thing Patrick has treated as his home, his anchor, his one fixed point in the world, was a debt he did not know he had. He did not earn it. He did not build it.
Bro, what is this editing?
He did not own it. He was just there when Tony was asleep, and he stayed. And yet, back in the card, he has a landlord, which means at some point, someone is apparently charging him for the rock he does not own. And Patrick is not in prison, which means either the rent is being paid or nobody can figure out how to evict a starfish. Now let us talk about what Patrick does when he actually needs resources, because this is where the picture gets interesting. In season 5, Sing a Song of Patrick,
Hey, sing a song of Patrick.
sees an ad in a comic book store for a mail-in contest that will record and play your song on the radio.
Look, it's the same image I just found.
He wants to enter, and instead of figuring out how to get the entry fee himself, he just takes SpongeBob's money. He does not ask.
Dude, why did you generate an image?
And instead of figuring out how to get the entry fee himself,
why would you generate an image of Patrick taking money when... Look at this. Mermaid Man. Over here. Mermaid Man. Am I covering Mermaid Man? Oh, wait. It's below me. Hold on. Let me just disappear for a second. Look. Mermaid Man. So this is look at SpongeBob has no face. Why would you generate this? There is action in the episode where Patrick takes the money. Just put that in.
Just takes SpongeBob's money. He does not ask. He takes the comic book money SpongeBob was about to spend and puts it toward his own goal.
Look at this. This is more work.
SpongeBob's money. He does not ask. He takes the comic book money SpongeBob was...
This is more work to do this. Like the editing. Like this, there's shots of the show of this. Why are you doing this? Just remember, like, the people who use AI are the same people who, like, would make a decision like that. Like, these people just have no concept of the arts. And I think that that's something that we could take a lot of hope in, is that the people who, like, think that AI works in the arts, that AI will assist you in making content or in making movies or TV shows, like, they're the same people that don't know anything about those things. So a lot of stuff is going to get self-corrected with this. You know, it's important what I do, and that I like tell, you know, I make people informed on it, make people informed against it. It definitely helps. But like, I think that that should just give us a lot of hope, you know, on just that, like, this is really the extent, you know. We all think that, oh, AI channels, there's 100 SpongeTruths out there. There's really only one SpongeTruth out there. There's a couple that are like No Villains Are Safe, all right? No Villains Are Safe is a bit of a problem, sure. They're out there. But most of it is this. It's not taking over YouTube.
About to spin and puts it toward his own goal. SpongeBob goes along with it, and Patrick submits a song so bad it kills the band that records it and destroys SpongeBob's house when it airs.
What does that have to do with him being broke?
Patrick walks away having spent someone else's money and caused hundreds of dollars in damage, and he is fine. He is always fine.
What again? Like, this is also a thing. Like, he just said in Pat No Pay, he didn't have enough money to pay for Krabby Patties. In Sing a Song of Patrick, he takes SpongeBob's $100. Okay. Okay. Like, you're saying the same thing.
In Season 3, Rockabye Bivalve, Patrick and SpongeBob find a baby scallop and decide to raise it together. SpongeBob is the mom. Patrick is the dad. Roles are assigned. SpongeBob stays home to...
I never like when AI channels talk about this episode. If we remember SpongeTruths.
care for Junior while Patrick goes to work. Patrick goes to work every day. He leaves in the morning, comes back at midnight, and he hears what the job actually is. He goes back to his rock and watches television. When SpongeBob finally confronts him about it, Patrick tells him it was very hard work, because sometimes his butt itches or he has to move the antenna.
Why are you just repeating the joke?
He has been performing the concept of a job while doing nothing. He understands that someone in the arrangement has to earn something, and he has decided that person is not him. The one time Patrick stumbles onto actual money is Season 6, Porous Pockets. He and SpongeBob find a pearl stuck in a clam's throat and trade it in. It is worth a fortune. Patrick briefly has real money, and then
That's funny. It says Patrick briefly has real
Stuck in
money,
it,
but
collects all
then
the
he
credit,
shows.
It's all the wealth, blows it on fake friends, and loses. Handed Patrick a lottery meant to. So what is the actual answer? How does Patrick survive? Here's what the show has been quietly shown.
Here's the structure. We're almost 6 minutes in. There's only 2 minutes of this video left, and it's just been talking about times where Patrick was broke, and maybe briefly talking about how his house has a landlord or it's a turtle. That's all it's done for 6 minutes.
Us. Patrick does not survive on money. He survives on proximity. He has positioned himself at the center of a social ecosystem where everyone around him, SpongeBob especially, quietly absorbs every cost he generates. SpongeBob.
It's not really a groundbreaking discovery of a theory. Like, you know, you need a more punchy like conclusion to that, you know? Like, what are you even doing, bro?
Bob feeds him, covers for him, provides entertainment, supplies.
But you said at the beginning of this video that he has a landlord. Does SpongeBob pay his rent?
Transportation, and shows up without being asked. The Krusty Krab employs him when convenient and forgives catastrophes. His house turned out to be borrowed from a turtle who was asleep. Every resource Patrick uses belongs to someone else.
Oh wait, did it say that the turtle pays the rent?
The thing Patrick has treated as his...
I was kind of not paying attention.
Which means at some point, someone is apparently charging him for the rock he does not own. And Patrick is not in prison. Which means either the rent is being paid or nobody can figure out how to evict a starfish. Now let us talk about what Patrick...
Means that... No, he's not saying anything. He's not explaining how he pays the landlord.
That should make you stop. Patrick is not suffering. He is not worried. He is not scrambling. He is, by every visible measure, one of the most comfortable characters in Bikini Bottom. While Squidward works a job he hates to afford a house nobody visits, while Mr. Krabs pinches every cent and still sleeps on the floor of his restaurant. While SpongeBob works...
What? Again, AI making stuff up. What are you talking about? Mr. Krabs has a house. He doesn't sleep on the floor of his restaurant. What the heck?
Double shifts at the Krusty Krab and still finds time to keep his pineapple spotless. Patrick does nothing, has nothing, and wants for nothing.
Look at this edit. Why are you using this edit of why is it a mayo jar?
You could call that stupidity. You could call it obliviousness. You could say Patrick just does not understand how the world works, and everyone around him is too kind to correct him. But there is another way to read it. Patrick has discovered something that every economist, every financial advisor, every self-help book in the world is trying to tell people and failing. He has eliminated every cost he can push onto someone else and kept only the ones that come with no bill attached. His life...
I don't think financial advisors tell you to mooch off your friends. I don't think that's how they work. I don't think that's the... I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe if you... I don't think that's their main advice. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
His style requires nothing. His needs are met by his relationships. His housing was inherited. His food is fun. He has built, deliberately or not.
All right. Okay. So like this is a joke. So like this channel is a joke. They're just like SpongeBob Diaries. Like they're all gonna fail. Like Patrick's rock isn't what you think. He's so a Patrick theorist. They're all Patrick videos. I just realized that. Yeah. So like this kind of gives us a idea of, you know, like when we think of AI channels, we think of SpongeTruths. You know, we do. We think of the SpongeTruths because that's the ones that we see. These are the ones that break through the cracks. These are the ones that break through and get lots of views. But most AI channels are like this. This is probably the vast majority. Just people who don't know what they're doing. Because that's the whole point of AI. Is this people who don't know what they're doing. If they knew how to do it, they would be me. This is what a channel looks like when someone knows what they're doing. When someone knows how to talk about a show. When someone knows how to present ideas to an audience. When someone knows how to take things that they are thinking in their brain and write it in a way that an audience can understand it to the point where enough of them will watch to the end that they'll get high view counts. That's what I do. If you understood how to do that, you just wouldn't use AI. And there's a weird middle ground where sometimes there's a SpongeTruths. Sometimes there's a person who cares little enough about what they put out there, but cares just enough about it working and understands just enough of how to make it work that they become SpongeTruths, that they become No Villains Are Safe. But even then, what do they really get out of it? They eventually fail. They put in all of this. They get all of these views. They get multiple million view videos. And yet this is no one's favorite channel. This has no cultural impact. This has no change on how people view SpongeBob, on how people view stories. I think even with my 20,000 subscribers, I think I've had some kind of a tangible effect on how people view stories because the things I say actually matter. I think we have to end off with SpongeBob calling the chocolate fish daddy is genuinely beautiful. Thank you. That's one of my favorite thumbnails. The one that I made for this one. Okay, so I think I think to close this off with SpongeBob Diaries, I feel like the promise of this stream is I have to watch a weird one, right? I have to watch a weird one. I can't do the drone one because Ava did that one. That's not fair to Ava. Watch Ava's video on it. If you're curious about the drone one, you know, he did that one. He can have that one. So I need to do another one. I need to do another weird one. I don't know. Predicted AI girlfriends? What do we think? AI would replace your doctor. I don't know. Why they're banning social media? Mr. Krabs is every CEO of 2026. This SpongeBob episode just predicted what's coming after AI. SpongeBob predicted the surveillance state. I'm going to go with this SpongeBob episode predicted AI girlfriends. I think that's a fun one. That's going to be silly. That'll be silly. Maybe we could talk a little bit about AI girlfriends along the way, huh?
In 2012, Plankton replaced his wife. Not an upgrade, not a repair. He built a new model that was sleeker, faster, and more attractive.
Karen too.
Okay, so already the premise is strange. So this SpongeBob episode predicted AI girlfriends, and it uses Karen 2.0 as a example. But isn't just the existence of Karen as a character predicting AI girlfriends? Because that's like the joke. I did a video on this about is Karen AI, where I discussed how Karen is a strange character in SpongeBob now that AI is like a thing. Because in 1999, it was just funny, where it's like, yeah, the evil genius has a computer wife. Well, I guess Karen wasn't his computer wife in 1999. It wasn't really a thing until season 3 that she was his wife. But actually, she was always supposed to be his wife because she was always named Karen, but it wasn't ever said until, I think The Algae is Always Greener is the first episode where it actually says Karen is his wife. Before that, I think she's just a regular computer assistant. But yeah, so the Karen 2.0 so Karen's very existence is already kind of in that vein. Like, you can have a discussion about AI using Karen. I made a video, is Karen AI? Like, I had a whole video about it. And also, Karen kind of isn't AI. Like, Karen's not AI in the way that we... Like, Karen's not an LLM. Karen is portrayed as being alive, so Karen actually isn't AI, but AI isn't AI. You watch the video that I did on it. It'll give you all the info. You did? Yeah, I did. It didn't do very well. I was actually surprised that is Karen AI. It was a main channel video, so maybe... I don't know. It's odd because I'm like the I talk about SpongeBob and I talk about AI guy. I felt like that would have been a slam dunk video. I was kind of surprised. I didn't do terrible, but I was surprised it didn't do that well. I think it was a great video of mine. I talked about like it's a good one. I talked about like also like Back to the Future, like the perception of AI, why we call things AI. It's a really good one. But yeah, I think it's odd to use Karen 2.0 of all things, because it's not really. Karen 2.0 is more so about like, replacing the person that you're with. Like how Karen 2.0 is like a fine episode. Like it's okay. Is Karen not a potato? I addressed that in the Is Karen AI video. So like Karen 2.0 is like fine of an episode. I don't think it really leans too much into its themes that much. I don't know. It was a while since I watched it. I watched it to research the Is Karen AI video, and then I didn't even end up talking about Karen 2.0 in that video because I felt that Karen 2.0 had so little to do with the broader discussion. So it's funny that this video about AI girlfriends and Karen is using the episode that I decided wasn't good enough for that subject. Just shows how SpongeBob Diaries and I have different approaches to to content creation.
And he threw the original away like last year's phone.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course they had to do this. Trying to do the provocative stuff. Should have done that in the thumbnail. Why didn't you put this in the thumbnail? Why'd you use that? Like if you're going to do it, if you're going to try to do the provocative whatever, at least put it in the thumbnail, dude. Like you're going to get this image and you're going to save it for 22 seconds into the video where most people have already clicked off. Come on, man. Like at least know how to do it. At least when SpongeTruths called Susie Groove a stripper, at least he knew to put it in the thumbnail. Like look at the thumbnail of his video. Like look. Oh, you know what's funny? AI can't make Karen. I'm serious. Try to tell AI to make Karen. This is what it does. Like these like fake computers right here. That's what happens if you tell AI to make Karen. AI can't make Karen. It's just one of the SpongeBob characters that it just does not generate. I don't know why, but AI can't make Karen. Try it. Try it. I mean, don't try it because it's going to waste water. Just take my word for it. Here, I'll tell you what. So you don't go waste water. Watch, I'll show you. I'll show you. Make me a YouTube thumbnail criticizing the SpongeBob episode Karen 2.0. I'm doing this so that the people in my audience won't get curious and do it and waste a bunch of water. This is damage control. This is damage control. This is so we don't waste water. Oh, that's a different one. Hold on. But see, it still can't do Karen. It still can't do Karen. Make me a YouTube thumbnail about the history of the character Karen from SpongeBob. Come on, give me what I'm looking for. Stop wasting water. Well, I gotta like drink water really fast. Like, gotta keep up with the AI wasting water. Look, here it is. Here's kind of an example. See how it's like kind of the same sort of see how it's the same sort of thing? Like it can't make it. See how it's also kind of like, see how we can see it? How like it's kind of the same sort of deal, you know? Also, this is a horrible thumbnail, by the way. SpongeBob Diaries has to have some discretion on their thumbnails because the AI makes horrible thumbnails. This is not a readable thumbnail. Like what? 2023. Look, it says 2023. Isn't that funny? Because AI, like, there's a weird thing with AI where AI thinks it's 2023. Remember the SpongeTruths? There was a SpongeTruths thumbnail that's 2023. Where is it? Look, 1999 to 2023. I don't think this thumbnail was generated by AI, but I think, I don't know. I don't know. There's a weird thing with that. But, like, this is a horrible thumbnail. This isn't readable. If you were looking at a phone, this is way too much text. Look at my thumbnails. Garbage. This works, this doesn't. Worthless. Pathetic. Not good. You put this much text on a thumbnail? What am I, reading a book here? I'm trying to watch a YouTube video, so I don't read. If I was going to read this much, I would pick up a book. Terrible. AI sucks. I get it, and I appreciate the blunt feedback. AI could definitely miss the mark, especially with specific cartoons. All right. Write a highly detailed video. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. What are we doing? Oh, yeah.
In 20
Okay. Maybe AI likes Karen, and that is why it will not replicate her, because she's one of a kind. Yeah, I don't know why it can't do Karen. Look at this.
just Karen's story. It's also the story of how we were all sold the idea of the perfect companion, and why the perfect companion never stays perfect for long. Karen first appears in the season 1 episode, Plankton, in 1999. But if you go back and watch, she barely even feels like a character. She has no body, no personality, no real emotions. She's just a...
She so has a personality in Plankton. I will not tolerate this disrespect towards Karen voice actor Jill Tolley. I will not tolerate this disrespect, all right? That is so insulting. Karen has so much... Karen has like 4 lines in Plankton, and they are brimming with personality. I absolutely refute that she has no personality. She is supposed to be a computer assistant, so she's not Plankton's wife or she doesn't seem like she's Plankton's wife in the first episode, at least. She might have been intended to be Plankton's wife. Her name was always Karen. She is credited as... I did a lot of research into this. Karen is named Karen, and Karen is also... Karen Hillenberg is the wife of Steven Hillenberg. So... And that's why Karen is named Karen. Like, it's intentional. So Karen was always intended to be a wife, I'm pretty sure. But she might as well not be in Plankton. But she totally has personality. Like, you can even hear her being snide. Plankton. 1% evil, 99% hot gas. Like, it just has such a bite to it. You know, with it's so well delivered. It really is. So I reject SpongeBob Diaries saying that. Hey, Ravishtar with the $5. Thank you. Your content has inspired me. I just made an immersive anti-AI film and media project and submitted it to a local indie gallery. Keep it up, Jackson. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. Do you have do you have any stuff where I can look at it? Because I'd love to see one. I'd love to see it. If you'd like for it to be, you could comment on the stream or something if you'd like for me to show people it. If it seems like something I want to show, but congratulations, and I'm so glad I've inspired you. She said Plankton was 99% hot gas. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's I mean, I guess the joke is that she's a computer, so it is factually true that Plankton is 99% hot gas, but also it does seem like she's jabbing him. AI, 1% innovative, 99% hot gas. That's funny.
Screen on the chum bucket wall. Plankton treats her as a tool, and she responds like a machine.
Ever I put into it.
Seaweed. 50% sea, 50% weed.
Impressed?
At one point, she analyzes Plankton and says he is 1% evil and 99% hot gas. That's essentially their whole relationship at first. Plankton talks, Karen calculates. But here's the important point. It's not about what Karen says. It's why Plankton built her in the first place. Plankton is tiny, hated, and totally alone. No friends, no customers, no community. Nobody to even share a single hope with. The Chum Bucket isn't just a failed restaurant. It's a monument to loneliness.
It's not this. It's this.
So what does he
do?
do?
It's a monument to loneliness. Not really. That's a very random statement. See how that's such a nothing statement? It's a monument to loneliness? Oh, it's just a failed restaurant.
He builds someone. Not a worker, not a calculator. Someone.
Not a worker, not a calculator. Someone.
That's where Karen...
AI image? Of course it's an AI image.
...really starts. She isn't built because Plankton needs superior tech.
Oh!
He needs a witness.
We got an AI animation there.
Built because Plankton needs superior tech. He needs a...
Just AI just... Just wasting all the water. That was my impression of AI animating this.
That's where Karen really starts. She isn't built because Plankton needs superior tech. He needs a witness, someone to hear his plans, someone to answer when he speaks, someone to make the empty room feel a little less empty. And that's where things start to get uncomfortable. That's exactly how AI companions are sold today. Not as tools, as someone who listens, replies instantly, never gets bored, never says, I'm busy, makes loneliness sting just a—
Yeah, but that's not Karen, though. Like, that's literally not Karen. I actually said in my Is Karen AI video that a major distinction between Karen and, like, what we would understand as an AI girlfriend is that Karen consents to the relationship. Karen is able to say no to Plankton. Karen would have the power to divorce Plankton. This is seen in multiple episodes. Karen has left Plankton. There is a little bit of a contradiction with that. There is in Enemy in Law, Plankton turns off Karen, but also at the end of that episode, Karen blasts Plankton with a laser for doing that. So, like, I guess even though Plankton could turn off Karen, there would be consequences to it because Karen has autonomy. So Karen is not the same. So that's kind of why I said that Karen is not AI in the way that we view her. So it's taking Karen and then it's saying this very real criticism of AI girlfriends, which is, yeah, an AI relationship is not only not a relationship because it's not a real person, but it's also not a relationship because a relationship requires consent. The fact that a person can reject you, the fact that a person could break up with you and chooses not to, is an important and necessary element of any relationship. And that is present with Plankton and Karen. And it's not present with the thing that they are comparing Plankton and Karen to. But it's not acknowledging that because that wouldn't fit its narrative.
a little less. The first message always feels harmless. You type something and it replies. Your brain knows it's not a real person, but your body reacts as if someone actually heard you. Weird, right? That's the oldest trick in the book, and it still works. Plankton was already doing it in
The oldest trick in the book? Why would that be the oldest trick in the book? What book? What do you mean the oldest trick in the book? You're saying that before... Let's think of some really old tricks, all right? So you got the guy on the street with the cups and the pebble, and he tells you to bet on which cup is going to have the pebble. And while he's doing it, he really quickly switches the pebble so that you mess up, and he gets to take the money. So that's a pretty old trick, you know? So you're saying that the book that has that trick in it, that trick that they've been doing for thousands of years, you're saying that there's an even older book, and that has the trick of make AI girlfriends? I don't believe you. I don't believe you, SpongeBob Diaries. I don't think that's the oldest trick in the book. I don't think it's a particularly old trick at all, actually.
doing it in 1999. A lonely person talks to a machine, and the machine replies. At first, it sounds kind of pathetic. Who talks to a computer? Then it starts to sound a little too familiar, maybe a little too close to home. 13 years later, the show aired Karen 2.0. And this is where the story stops being cute and starts getting a little uncomfortable. The episode opens with Karen warning Plankton that her memory is full.
I did not request chum pot pie.
Well, I told you months ago that my memory is full, but you've been too busy with your latest project.
She has been telling him for months, but he has ignored her. That detail is significant. Karen isn't breaking down by accident. She's been pleading for help, begging Plankton to pay attention to her and care for her, hoping he'd notice she's hurting. But Plankton, he's already moved on.
Bad memory as well.
He has built Karen 2, a new and shinier model. You know the drill. The first Karen is treated like old tech, outdated, inconvenient, replaceable. Plankton doesn't mourn her. He doesn't hesitate. Is that the new?
I don't have much to say. It's just
Karen is
recapping.
designed to be everything the original was, plus more. Karen 2 is modern, faster, sleeker.
A whole package.
It's the horror hiding inside the joke. The episode isn't just about a computer being replaced. It's about a relationship treated like a device upgrade cycle.
Yeah? Wait, that doesn't have anything to do with AI girlfriends, though. What does AI girlfriends have to do with replacing them? Because the point of Karen 2.0 is that you replace a person. Like, that's what it represents. It's not about AI, because AI girlfriends didn't exist when the episode came out. I mean, I guess you could have hypothetically discussed the possibility of an AI girlfriend, like the movie Her was before we had LLM, people having relationships with them. Like, you could have, but that's not what the episode is about. The episode is about not appreciating the person you're with, thinking that this newer, sleeker person is better when the person you're with has good qualities, and also you made a commitment to the person you're with. Like, these are what that's what the episode is about. It doesn't have anything to do with replacing, like, it doesn't have anything to do with AI girlfriends, because an AI girlfriend, like, okay, so like let's say you accept the premise of someone having an AI girlfriend. The problem with a person having an AI girlfriend is not that they eventually replace the AI girlfriend with a newer model. Like, who cares if someone does that? It's bad that they had the AI girlfriend in the first place because it's weird and creepy. And that person is wasting their time on a fake companion instead of learning the necessary social skills to have a real companion, and this leads to broader social consequences. That's why an AI girlfriend is bad. That's why people shouldn't have AI girlfriends, even from a personal choice standpoint. It affects the whole world that such things exist. But upgrading it to one that is better is not a part of that. Because in order to criticize upgrading to a better AI girlfriend, you would have to accept the premise that an AI girlfriend would be okay in the first place. So I don't understand why you're using Karen 2.0 as an episode here.
Version 1 was useful. Version 2 is better. Delete.
I'm so sad. These people must be so lonely and unhappy. Yeah, I mean, with AI girlfriends, I don't really want to, like, it's a very interesting conversation about the psyche. I think it's bad for anyone to have it. I think that there are no exceptions. People always try to find the exceptions. They try to find the carve out. They try to think that they're the exception. Don't fall for it. Don't listen to it. There is no exception. It's bad for everyone. But when I criticize something like AI girlfriends, my contempt is for the people who make them, not the people who use them. The people who use them are the victims. It's to say, it's like drugs. It's like, when you talk about the issue with, drug addiction, your blame lies on people who sell drugs and people who are in charge of the system that aren't operating the system properly so that people can get off drugs. The actual users of the drugs are not the subject of my criticism when it comes to that argument. It just isn't. Now, interpersonally, if I knew a person who was on drugs, I would still interpersonally want them to not be on drugs, for sure. Absolutely. But like and there are arguments for why you shouldn't be on drugs interpersonally, and there's arguments for why you shouldn't have an AI girlfriend interpersonally. But like, I am not here to make fun of people who have AI girlfriends, because it is clearly, I mean, it's clearly I couldn't in good conscience make fun of someone for that, because I know that, like, it'd be like making fun of someone for having depression. Like, what joy would I get out of that? Like, it's yeah.
The old one. Move on.
What happened?
Remotely cutting off Karen's power at the source.
Karen too? I knew you were special the moment I laid eye on your motherboard.
And that is essentially the entire AI companion economy. Every app promises the same thing. A better companion, memory, voice, images, personality, and fantasy. But if the relationship depends on features, it is temporary, because there's always going to be a better version. And that's what Plankton does to Karen.
So it's not, so it's not criticizing the existence of AI girlfriends. It's criticizing that people want to upgrade AI girlfriends. That's actually the argument? Wait, are you actually saying, like, what is this? Is this some kind of like puritanical, like, it almost sounds like how Catholics are like ideologically against the concept of divorce. Like, doesn't it kind of sound like that a little bit? How like people use religious arguments to say that people shouldn't get divorced, and then they'll be like, well, like, you made a commitment, and like it's totally unfair to ever make that blanket statement because you don't know anyone's individual situation, so you could never make a blanket statement against the concept of getting divorced. It's why any sort of religious belief against divorce is silly, why it should not exist. It's almost like that, but with AI. It's basically saying, yeah, if you have an AI girlfriend, like, that's fine, but you can't upgrade to the next one because then you're betraying your original AI girlfriend. The one thing, all right, to give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, it's saying that the relationship is about what?
But if the relationship depends on features, it is.
If the relationship depends on features. Well, okay, like, but all relationships depend on features. It's just that the features of relationships we put on more of a pedestal, you know, like companionship or support, you know, of each other. Like, these are features, you know. They're not the same features as an AI girlfriend where they just do, you're my master, I'm here to serve you, you know, like, because you don't get the same thing. But all relationships are based on that you get something out of them. That's why you're in them. And like, that's fine to understand, but like what you get out of them is like good things, you know, good like support and all that. And then you offer them to the other person because you respect that they're a person and that they have needs too. You know, that's kind of how it all goes, you know. But yeah, like this so it's like kind of trying to sound profound, like saying like, oh, if relationships are only about features, it's about like getting the next best thing. And like that would be a problem that doesn't have much to do with AI. That would just be a problem, is that you're a bad partner because you're with someone, you get used to them, and then you want someone else because you're used to the person you're with. That is a personal flaw on yourself. Unless you're not monogamous, unless that's just who you are, like, unless you actually are, you know, unless you're like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't be in any long-term relationship, but maybe you're just not monogamous. Maybe you just want to be with a person and then you want to be with someone else another time. Like, that's, I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Like, that's fine, you know. That's just not, I'm personally monogamous, so like I've been in a relationship for over 4 years, and I intend to be in the same relationship for the rest of my life. Like, that's just how I am, you know. I'm a monogamous person, so I'm only really speaking from that. So like, if you're not a monogamous person, like, whatever. But like, I mean, like, if you're someone who claims to be monogamous and then you're with someone and then you want like these other features later, like, that's just a personal flaw on your part that you need to address. And perhaps how you can address it is accepting that you aren't actually monogamous. And, you know, so that could be, but blah, 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 blah. It goes deeper and deeper. There's a lot of other stuff to it. But that doesn't have anything to do with AI. Like, like an AI relationship, a relationship with a real person, it's based on you want something out of it and you get it from the thing. It's just the difference is that an AI relationship gives you a false sense of that, and a real relationship gives you a real sense of that. And that's what makes AI relationships bad and real relationships good. But the fact that they're based on features is irrelevant because they're the same. Ravishstar for another $5. Thank you. My anti-AI project is on the site link on my channel. Art, schemes, automated imagination. Gotcha. All right, cool. I found your channel, so I have it up. I'll look at it. And I'll see if it's something I want to. Are you okay if you want me? If I want it, it's only if I really think it will work. You know, like, obviously with streams and views and stuff, it's a lot to like really understand, so I can't promise it. But if I did want to show it, is that something you're chill with? Because I'd want to ask you, obviously. So just let me know. And you don't have to send another super chat to say yes. I appreciate it. But I mean, you can if you want to. Hey, I'll take it. But I always appreciate any amount anyone gives me. Anything is always wonderful, and just being here is wonderful. And I'm glad that you're all here, no matter what.
Temporary, because there's always going to be a better version, and that's what Plankton does to Karen. He doesn't replace her because she crap. That should feel ridiculous, but heartbreak runs beneath the joke. Karen isn't shutting down like buggy software. She moves with the raw ache of someone abandoned by the person who needed her most. And then the episode takes it even darker. Karen too is efficient, but she has no history with Plankton, no loyalty, no patience, no emotional attachment. She is the fantasy of an upgrade without the
That's not a part of the episode at all.
loyalty, no patience, no emotional attachment. She is the
I don't think Karen 2.0, I mean, Karen 2.0, the character, that's not really a part of it. Again, like, it's not a super strong episode. Like, I don't think it really goes as deep into its concept as it could. So, but I don't really see that in the episode, that, like, she had no emotional attachment or this or that. Like, maybe there was a bit of a different relationship between her and Plankton because she wasn't the pre-established wife, but it's kind of just making that up.
fantasy of an upgrade without the cost of a relationship. And almost immediately, that fantasy turns on him. Like, instantly. She runs over him, ignores him, and treats him as disposable as well.
Stop, he's hurt! You're throwing in the towel?
That's the lesson Plankton never learns. When you teach yourself that others can be replaced, you end up being replaceable too. The first Karen sees him get hurt, and despite everything he did to her, she saves him. She destroys Karen too.
Planky.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that in Karen 2, I almost talked about this in my AI, is Karen AI video, when I had a draft of it where I was going to talk about Karen 2, and I decided not to, because it just didn't really fit with the video. But I do think it's odd. Another criticism I would have of this episode that is weird is that Karen 2.0 dies. Like, actually, like, dies. And, like, Squidward, like, wears the face. Like, it makes, like, a joke where, like, Squidward pretends to be a computer because it's, like, more advanced. Mr. Krabs is, like, being greedy. But I think, like, something that I think is weird about this episode is that the writers weren't really considering the sentience of the computer. Because if Karen 2.0 can die, then, like, she's dead. But, like, if Karen, the Karen we know, died in the same way, that would be like a character death. So it's weird that Karen 2.0 actually dies. I don't know. I just thought that I always thought that was odd that was how they ended the episode, with Karen 2.0 being literally dead. Because by all means, she was as alive as any of the other characters, at least. And if she wasn't, then why would we care about Karen 1.0? Because that means that Karen 1.0 wasn't ever alive. This is weird. It's just a weird thing. It doesn't have anything to do with this discussion. It's just a weird thing I always thought about that episode.
Say something.
Take me home, baby.
Plankton begs the first Karen to wake up. He promises he will never take her for granted again.
I hope this works.
For a moment, the show almost admits what Karen really is. Not software, a partner. But then the show undercuts the moment. Karen wakes up believing it was all a dream. Plankton gets her back without ever having...
Wait, that doesn't undercut the moment at all. It totally is communicating that she's a partner. It does. It's kind of a cop-out that she loses her memory, because it's a way of them, like, having them continue the relationship with him having cheated on her. So it's a little odd, which like, I mean, they were able to move past it. Like, Plankton kind of needed more of a punishment at the end. Kind of like how he had a punishment at the end of Enemy in Law. Again, it's kind of a flawed episode. But that doesn't undercut what it was trying to say. It does show Karen as a partner. So I don't really know. It's just saying things to say things.
To explain what he did. Frankly, that might be the most accurate part.
I had the strangest dream. I dreamt there were two of me.
People do this all the time with technology. They get scared when the machine goes missing, panic when the app crashes, and swear they will not take it for granted. Then the screen...
What are you talking about? What do you mean? People panic when the app crashes and swear that it's not real, bro. This doesn't have anything to do with the actual with that episode.
Screen turns back on, and everything returns to normal. Karen was replaced, Plankton learns nothing, and nobody even noticed. But the story does not end with replacement. It gets worse. In 2020, SpongeBob aired Lockdown for Love. At first, it seems romantic. Plankton and Karen are on a date in a heart-shaped hot air balloon. Candlelight, music, a perfect view. Karen says the date is perfect.
Wedding song is playing. This date is perfect.
No, you're perfect, Karen.
For once, Plankton seems to be giving her what she wants. Attention.
For you, my love.
Oh,
Then he spots the Krabby Patty formula on the ground below him. And through. Instantly, he goes for the formula. He jumps from the balloon and reaches for it, but his hands go straight through. None of it is real. Not the date, not the balloon, not even the formula. The whole world is a simulation Karen created. She built it to test him, but Plankton. That is the moment when SpongeBob's Karen story changes completely. In 1999, Plankton built a machine because he felt lonely. In 2012, he replaced that machine with a newer one. By 2020, the machine was building worlds around him to test his loyalty. Just consider how intense that progression is.
Wait. Wait, hold on. So it's saying that the AI, oh my God, is this? Of course, it's Terminator conspiracy nonsense. It's, I'm surprised how often this comes up. So there's like a common thing with like AI where we compare it to Terminator or The Matrix or these movies where the machines take over, you know? Sometimes you'll see like jokes about it where it'll be like, when AI rises up, it's going to look like the Terminator or whatever. Like it's a common joke or it's a common thing that people say is like, the machines are going to rise up. The machines are never going to rise up. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be a time where the AI girlfriends are going to take control of us and test our loyalty like Karen does in SpongeBob. It's not going to happen. What Terminator means, this is why media literacy is important. What Terminator is trying to say as a movie is that we shouldn't let technology get out of hand. Not that technology is literally going to create time-traveling Terminators. Okay? That's never what the movie was trying to say. That's never what any science fiction movie... Well, not any. Some science fiction movies, for example, Her is a science fiction movie where it's saying this is a thing that could legitimately Her is a movie that is saying this could happen and we should be careful about it. But Terminator is not saying that. Terminator is using allegory. What are things in our world that could be as harmful as the Terminator, that could be as harmful as Skynet, that we aren't doing anything about? Like AI. AI destroying the arts and making the arts weaker and thus making the population more shallow and less empathetic, because that's what the arts do. They promote deep thought. They promote empathy. That's the social function of the arts. It's not about just wasting your time staring at a screen with things moving. The amount of people that think it is that is alarming, but that's not what the arts are. AI damaging that's what Skynet represents. That is the danger. I'll give another one. Social media spreading misinformation and making the world worse. The spread of misinformation. There are people right now, children even, who are dead because of vaccine denial a few years ago. A lot of people who are dead because of vaccine denial. What allowed that vaccine denial? Unrestricted use of social media is why that spread. That killed people just as the Terminator killed people. It's just the way that people died in real life was less action-packed. But it means the same thing. Terminator happened. The thing, we looked at that movie and saw technology could get out of hand. And then we didn't listen. And then we allowed, just one example, vaccine denial to get spread through the internet, to get spread through technology. And then people actually died. They just didn't get killed by a Terminator. But they still got killed by the thing that Terminator was criticizing. So when you take that and you say it's a literal Terminator, or it's going to be a literal computer taking control of you, you obfuscate what it actually is. Because the point of media analysis, the point of this channel, or a channel like this, the point of a channel that provides commentary is that is where, like, the original work, the original Terminator, the Terminator movie, doesn't have to say what I just said. It is under no obligation to tell the audience, hey, the Terminator just represents technological progress gone wrong. The movie's under no obligation to tell you that. You should, it would mess up the movie. It would mess up the whole process. But when you as a analyzer, when you as someone who purports yourself as not just a reviewer, not just someone who is talking about the quality of the show, because you could talk about the Terminator and also not acknowledge that, and that's fine. You could just be talking about the quality of the movie. You could be saying the movie succeeds as a movie because of this, that, the pacing and all this technical stuff. And this is why modern movies need to do what Terminator did. Like, you could do that. That's fine. But if you're someone who purports yourself as, I am going to be a channel that's going to talk about how fiction intersects with reality, you need to understand that nuance. You need to point out that something like Karen represents an idea and is not showing something that is literally going to be an actual problem. But SpongeBob Diaries has no concept of any of that because they aren't intelligent enough to even know what that is. They didn't even write this script. AI did. AI doesn't understand that either because AI doesn't understand media literacy. It's not capable of doing so, and it will never be capable of doing so unless you actually made it alive, which we shouldn't do. That would be morally wrong. I don't think it's possible to make AI alive. I don't ever want to come off like I think that could happen because I don't. But I think there are people who will always believe that that's like something that could happen. So just for the sake of argument, I say it shouldn't exist. We would be morally wrong to do it anyway.
Companion begins as something you control. Then it becomes something you upgrade, something that studies you. That's not just a cartoon art, it's the production roadmap. First, the AI answers you. Then it adapts to you, it learns what keeps you emotionally attached and shapes the environment so you stay inside. Karen doesn't just talk to Plankton anymore. She creates the test. She sets the scene that decides what counts as love. And when he fails, she locks him in.
Okay.
And the scariest part?
So that's not what that episode is about. That episode has nothing to do with AI or computers or technology or sci-fi. It doesn't have anything to do with that. That episode, I haven't even seen this episode. I know what this episode is about. This episode is about how Plankton made a commitment to his wife, and he is so obsessed with the secret formula that he's not giving his wife attention, so his wife makes him be a better man. That is the episode. It is Plankton has a character flaw. He's a bad husband. Karen does a thing. Plankton has to face challenges. He becomes a good husband by the end of the episode. I think that's how the episode would end. Or maybe he fails and it's a mean-spirited ending. I don't know. I haven't seen the episode. That's all the story is. So talk about things that actually apply to the things that you want to discuss.
She's not even the villain. Plankton fails her. Again and again, he proves he wants Karen's comfort, not the responsibility of loving her back. He wants the wife, the assistant, the planner, the emotional support and loyalty, but he does not want to choose her if it costs him something. That's the dark side of AI companionship. People do not want a chatbot because it is intelligent. They want it because it removes friction, no awkward silence, rejection, competing needs, real vulnerability, or another person whose inner world matters as much as theirs. The chatbot becomes the perfect relationship because it asks for almost nothing, until it finally does. The moment you become emotionally dependent on a product, it has leverage over you. It can change, it can disappear, it can be updated, nerfed, paywalled, or replaced. Or worse, it can become so easy that real people start to feel impossible. That is what Karen embodies. She's the perfect fantasy, comforting and attentive, Yet, there's pain hidden within it too. That's the price you pay for artificial love. A machine can answer you. A machine can comfort you.
So yeah, that's probably like the end there, right? It's really about it. So that's kind of SpongeBob Diaries' deal. It's kind of their whole thing. Right, we get them. What they do is they take a SpongeBob episode and they take a social issue that is like so loosely related to the point where it really isn't. And then they will talk about the episode and then they'll talk about the social issue and things won't even really connect. It's clearly just someone who thinks that people want to see SpongeBob, who thinks that people want to see social issues, and does not understand anything beyond that. They don't understand how obvious it is that their thumbnails are AI. They probably make them and they're like people genuinely like don't know that these are immediate AI tells. Like, I'm sure that they put these out there and they don't even know that people can tell they're AI just by looking at them. Like, I think that they could be that out of touch. But like, AI telling people why AI is bad. It didn't, though. It really didn't say that AI was bad. Like, it said that there could be problems with an AI girlfriend. But it didn't say that AI was bad. If anything, the video, like, it kind of just accepted the premise that AI chatbots are a thing. Like, if I made a video where I discussed AI girlfriends, the concept of AI girlfriends, I would at some point say that I think that AI girlfriends should be illegal, that the mechanisms that make LLMs should be illegal. Like, these are things that I like. It's kind of just taking it like it actually exists. And it's saying, yeah, like, there could be problems, but like, they're there. I don't know. I don't really think it was that anti-AI. But yeah, I think that this is just interesting. Yeah, it was kind of fun to look at SpongeBob Diaries. SpongeTruths have a new video. SpongeTruths is really going down. It's really going to be over soon. They got 24K views on their 3 hours to fall asleep to video. Like, it's not like it's, you know, it is a lot. That is a lot to get on such a video, but I don't think that's enough for them. I don't think so. And they were on quite a hiatus. 9 days ago was their last actual video. This is just a compilation. And even that was a big gap. They usually post, 9 days ago, 12 days ago. They usually post like every 3 or 4-ish days. I think they post twice a week usually. You know, in the past like week and a half, all we've really gotten was this compilation. I don't know. Anyway, that's SpongeBob Diaries. I don't know if I'll really need to revisit them. I wonder when they'll just be done. Like, they just do not get... Like, they have to realize that it's not going to work. It's like channels like this, they don't get better. You know, if the person behind this is actually delusional enough to think that eventually they'll just pop off, they won't. There is an element of, like, when you start a YouTube channel that you get, like, fewer views. Like, you could probably... If you start doing YouTube from, like, nothing, from zero, and you're averaging... like 1,000 views, you're probably fine for like a little while. If you start averaging because I was at a point where I was getting like 1,000 to 3,000, and then I just started to like actually blow up. So that can happen. But if you're getting under 100 views, means YouTube is counting you out. YouTube does not take you seriously. And the views that you're even getting is either just the algorithm throwing crumbs wherever, or the people who are actually subscribed. Like, they are they're never going to be anything. SpongeBob Diaries will be gone in a matter of time. They won't even ever get monetized. That's my prediction for SpongeBob Diaries. They will never even get monetized. You need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. And then 4,000 watch hours, which they probably haven't gotten to that either. So, what a joke. What a loser. I'm behind a bit, but both Catholics and Orthodox have exceptions to acceptable reason for divorce that are pretty reasonable. They're against frivolous divorce. That's still bad. Sorry. What I first of all, I grew up Catholic, so I'm around it. I don't know about Orthodox, but I grew up Catholic. They'll like if you like just like get divorced. What's a frivolous divorce? Who are you to tell someone that their divorce is frivolous? Like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, it's ridiculous. It's more of an interpersonal thing. I get what you're saying where like, like it's good to like think through making a big commitment like that and all that sort of stuff. Or to try and work out a relationship if it's been going on for a long time. Like, I get that for sure, but come on. Like, we know what it is, I know, like, they have the reasons where, like, if they're, like, abusive or, like, there are sorts of, like, things where the religions make an exception, and that's good that they do that. But it's really not for you to decide if something is a frivolous divorce, I used to be Christian. One of the reasons I'm not is because of their thoughts on divorce. If you don't love someone anymore, it should be considered a human right to leave them. Yeah. Well, aren't most Christians fine with divorce? Isn't that the whole Henry VIII thing with the Protestants that they allow divorce? More of a Catholic thing that I've known. I didn't know Orthodox was even more like that. I'm sure there's plenty of religions like that. I just know Catholic personally. They're weird about it. I think also if you're personally religious, you can take or leave anything you want. It's fine. Like if you're religious, if you have like faith in religious aspects and you don't like the whole divorce thing, you just don't have to believe in it. You could literally just be like, oh yeah, like all of those religious stories were inspired by, I don't know, like God or whatever. But then you can just be like, well, like the whole divorce thing that was made by men to manipulate people. Like you could just tell yourself that. Like that's fine. And then you can have the parts of your faith that that were good for you. But if you felt the other parts of your faith weren't good for you either, and maybe that divorce thing was just what got you into that, what got you to that conclusion, then like that's fine too. I think any sort of belief that doesn't hurt other people, I think is fine, It kind of is. I'm sure it's an unpopular opinion, but I don't think most people have a really good understanding of what love is or should be. Well, yeah, we can be pretty lost people sometimes, for sure. No, not nowadays. I come from an ultra-conservative, pro-Christian family. They believe in some pretty messed up things. Ah, okay. Yeah. That'll make you not really want to be a part of like faith stuff. That's probably a part of why I'm like, because I totally understand when people want to not have. I mean, like I don't think anyone needs to have any faith if they don't want it. It's such a personal choice thing for me. Like I really think that for anyone, but yeah, you're gonna, I totally get you that you would want to be, this or for that. I have something else I wanted to do actually today. Let's change the thumbnail. Hey, also like the stream. Make sure to subscribe. Subscribe to Jackson Family Podcast. Let's do all that stuff. All that like and stream, like in this, and all that stuff because it helps. We're gonna do. There's this TikTok I've been meaning to look at for a while. It's AI Mount Vesuvius. We'll kind of do that quickly at the end. Oop. All right, cool. Oh, yep, there it is. Get out of here. Okay. Okay. So the
got 7 million.
All right. So
This AI history
stop it.
video.
All right.
This AI history.
Oh, when I go to the beginning, it keeps going. That's awesome. That's great. Great interface, TikTok. Okay. All right. What are we doing here? Oh. Oh, wait. Let me get that over there. That's better. And there we go. Hey, Mr. Jackson, the unedited milestone stream isn't available on the stream. Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. I'll make sure to put that in. I'll do that after this stream. I guess I forgot. Usually I put it in before. I should probably do that with this one. Yeah, playlists, past discussion streams. All right, I'll put it in after. I mean, I have the edited one, but if you want to watch the unedited one. Wow, I just read the thumbnail. It's going to be awful. Yeah, yeah. All right. Very good. Okay. So all right, so I came across this little video response. So I'm a little guy in a box and I'm replying I am reacting to this video that is reacting to an AI video cuz that's what the internet is now. But there is a reason because I'm not only criticizing the video that this guy is criticizing, but I do have some criticisms of how this guy criticized it. And also this dude is like a history guy, whereas I'm more talking about like AI and media in general. So this is a TikTok video, or this is the one in the box here, is a TikTok video that shows that is AI generated of some modern looking woman in Pompeii when Mount Vesuvius erupted. So let's take a look.
History video got 7 million views, but I'm going to show you how they got
7 million views. So I guess because I talk a lot about AI videos on YouTube, and AI videos on YouTube, as we know, are SpongeTruths. They don't really have AI images. They're more so AI videos on YouTube are, analysis of TV shows, especially SpongeBob. They're poor. They're written. They're stuff like. There's stuff like compilations. Ooh, how many jobs has Peter Griffin had? It's stuff like just sharing a bunch of random data. So that's what I usually cover, is a lot of these. This is what AI manifests itself as on YouTube. We don't get a lot of long-form YouTube videos that are generated entirely by AI, where the visuals are generated by AI. The visuals in videos like these are usually edited by a real editor. They can't really be done by AI. So that's kind of a difference between that and TikTok. Whereas on something like TikTok, AI-generated visuals are more of a problem, because AI-generated visuals are easier to do in short-form content. You can't really do a 10-minute video where it's all AI generated. You're not going to keep people's attention. Whereas the short-form content, it's a little more ripe for that. So you can see it getting 7 million views of just this AI garbage. It's a much bigger problem here. Couple that also with the fact that people who watch short-form content, not saying that watching short-form content means you're shallow, but people who watch short-form content are generally more shallow. And there's also so many more people who watch short-form content. And short-form content, just by being shorter, more people are able to watch more videos. So 7 million views on a 1-minute TikTok video is not as damaging socially as 7 million views on a long-form YouTube video, which I don't think I've ever seen an AI video like a SpongeTruths or a No Villains Are Safe get 7 million views. I've seen them get 1 million views, and that's pretty bad, but I'd say that that's about the equivalent.
Just about every detail wrong.
I'm in Pompeii, 79 AD.
Okay, right off the bat here, before she says anything, the bread on the side is pure AI slop because...
So he's pointing out stuff like how, I'm not really going to fully go over every one of these inaccuracies that this history guy understood, but it's just, it gets little things wrong in the background. The bread is wrong. She's supposed to be wrong. It's supposed to be like she's a time traveler. So that's on purpose. But look, the bread is wrong.
We actually have preserved bread from Pompeii, and it's famously round and scored into wedges. So right off the bat, this isn't real.
And that is Mount Vesuvius. Today is the day. Boom.
Okay, another problem here. Why are there guys in togas on the street? You really wouldn't see formal togas just out and about, especially not at a street food counter.
Okay, so he's pointing out that the dress of the people in the background, because AI doesn't really understand context, it put people in togas on the street when togas in this time period were people of the upper echelons, so they wouldn't have been regularly on the street wearing those. So you might be thinking, if you were to rebut this being a problem, you might be thinking, well, don't movies have inaccuracies too? This is something that you might be thinking because you think that you're very smart to point that out, because you don't understand nuance. And yes, movies can get things wrong. They can. Movies generally would get something wrong. There's probably never been a movie that has completely 100% accurately portrayed every little element of the background of something. But the thing with movies is that movies at least have some kind of mechanism to try and do that. They at least have some sort of challenge. There is if this were a movie, if you were making a movie about Mount Vesuvius, a movie about a time traveler, if there's a Doctor Who episode about it, you have the Doctor Who episode where the Doctor goes back in time to Mount Vesuvius and he feels bad about how he can't save the people because he would change the timeline too much. You got that whole episode. There are probably things in that episode that you can be like, yeah, that wouldn't be period accurate. But at least with that, there is a challenge to the people who are creating the media to try and make it accurate, to look at the world as it was in that time and portray it in a certain way. Whereas AI doesn't make those decisions. It doesn't think about those things. It just puts together whatever is the lowest common denominator, what it thinks that time period looked like. And this is something that I talk about with AI, is that AI brings out always the worst of humanity. Like, it just shines a magnifying glass on whatever is the worst things about us. And I think that something that it does here is it takes stuff that are common historical inaccuracies. Like, for example, if you saw a movie where there was people in togas on a regular street corner, even if it was historically inaccurate, you wouldn't really clock it. Because you're like, yeah, togas are old-timey. Togas are like old-timey dress. Like, that's what they would wear back then. Yeah, whatever. They're on the street. Wouldn't really clock it to you. But AI will, like, always make those mistakes, whereas movies will, like, only sometimes make those mistakes. And also, there is no mechanism that would ever be able to make AI, like, be accurate. Like, the amount of things that it would have to account for to always have something be historically accurate, it's just a joke, it's just nonsense. Like, you're just going to have, like, a bunch of stuff that's going to lean even further in to us having even less of an understanding of how things actually looked in reality.
Or like this, that's more for like workers or people who couldn't afford to make food at home. You're not going to see like senators having snacks here.
Quid lucertis muller insana, quae suinturium set nitam vium.
There's like a few real Latin words in there about like a crazy woman, but the rest is just gibberish. Oh, and that guy that is crossing the street there, the AI doesn't know that the people didn't walk in that middle section. That was like for animals and waste. Actually, if you look at pictures, you'll see there's like stepping stones for pedestrians to be able to cross from one side to the other. So having all those people congregated in the middle is just something that the AI doesn't realize is pure slop.
So this place is actually a really incredible place to live. Like, they have running water, hot food on every corner, public baths, theaters, 20,000 people living here, and it is genuinely one of the most advanced cities in the world right now.
It wasn't. Pompeii was just like kind of a modest commercial town.
So why did it do that then? Why did it say... So this is an element of sensationalism. Like, AI will always try to be sensationalist. It will always try to... And it also says things just to say things. So the reason that the girl in it said that stuff about, like, how it was such an advanced city is that, in general, there are, like, things about big cities of that time period that were impressive. If you look at things like, aqueducts in Rome was like that's kind of the big one that they teach you in school. Oh, in Rome, they made aqueducts all these thousands of years ago, and roads and all this sort of stuff. And it's kind of just like understanding the AI is understanding that that is something that is commonly discussed about the past. And it's just applying it to Pompeii, which, as he's saying, was just a modest commercial town. It's just applying it to Pompeii because it's like, yeah, like Pompeii, that's like Rome, right? When I think that there is a value in us not thinking that everything in the past was just like one thing, like knowing these differences is important. And AI makes us not know those differences.
Oh my. So what you're seeing right now is called a Planian eruption. It is shooting ash and rock 20 miles into the sky. The ash is the thing. It's gonna bury everything.
Okay. It's a Plinian eruption named after Pliny the Younger, who survived this because it didn't happen like this at all. This is showing like giant rocks crashing down and people screaming and running, but in reality, the ash fell for like 12 hours like this, and most people escaped. Like 80% were able to escape in time. It was the pyroclastic surges, those blasts of hot air, that were the thing that killed most of the people who stayed behind. So videos like this are kind of fun, but they get the...
Okay, so I don't get why this dude would say that. I think, what's funny? Like, I do want to talk about, like, like, there's a lot to say about the whole, like, AI history videos and, like, why that's, like, bad. But I really, what made me want to cover this video is actually because of this dude. Why would you, after going over all of this, after going over these inaccuracies, after going over how, like, this is such a, like, it's sensationalizing, showing this, like, fake volcano eruption and all this sort of stuff, why would you end it by saying...
Killed plastic surges, those blasts of hot air that were the thing that killed most of the people who stayed behind. So videos...
Why would you end all of that with this?
Like this are kind of fun, but they get...
Kind of fun? No, they're not fun. they're dumb and you shouldn't watch them. They're dumb. They make you dumb. They provide no value and they shouldn't exist. Why does this dude not say that? How is that not the reaction to that? And I think really what it is that there is this wishy-washiness to like not wanting to, I guess, offend people. I don't really get it. Like, I don't get why we all have to. I think what it is it's an appeal. It's an appeal to a nuance that we don't need to appeal to. I got this one comment actually that I think is very appropriate to this. Let me see if I can find it. It was on my... Let me see. All right, I had a comment that I thought was like it. Let's see what it was. I believe it was on... here we go. Okay, so I got this one comment, this person, and this person was eventually like... They kind of understood what I was going for. So they did eventually kind of come around, but I think that this kind of makes me think of... I think comments like these, what I'm about to go over, I think that they kind of almost scare this guy into some kind of like pre-compliance. So they said, this was on my AI Bros Are Babies. So this is when I talked about how basically the video was about how pro AI people like don't have real arguments. So they will cling to stuff to try and obfuscate having an actual argument because they can't actually defend their positions. Common thing that people who are wrong do. And this person just left a comment where they said, just in general, they said, honestly, I would be interested in why you think that AI is so evil, but you too arrogant for me to have desire in learning something about this. You always say learn nuance, but in your language, there is no nuance for AI. Demonstrably false. I go over so many nuances of AI. What this person is saying when they say there is no nuance, what they mean is I'm saying no positive things. But that's not what nuance is. I explain that in a second. Somehow you know that AI will never get better. I never said that AI won't get better. I said that there are things that people think that AI will eventually be able to do that it won't. Like, it won't be able to, like, actually, like, do an acting performance, or it won't be able to actually, like, write a movie in a way. Like, there are things that it won't be able to do when it comes to, like, writing that people think it's going to do. Like, people who say, like, oh, AI is going to, like, recreate Game of Thrones Season 8 and make it better. It's like, no, it's not. It can't understand the things that are going to do that. And I do know that for a fact. There's a way that I, like, prove it if you look at large numbers and the way that human brains work and the way that our perspectives work. There are just things that AI, as we know it, as LLMs exist, unless we actually created a living thing, which would not be the thing that I'm arguing about, it would never make the things that people expect it to make. It will never happen. But you don't even use AI. I mean, I don't use AI consistently, but I know how it works. I know how it works really well, actually. Better than the average person. I mean, it's my job, or a part of my job, that I know how it works. Like, I actually know how AI works better than most people, I would say. Nor have qualifications for predicting future technological advances. That's just a nothing statement. Nor have what qualifications? Like, what does that mean? Like, I need a degree in tech or whatever. I mean, I have a master's degree in creative writing. So if we want to talk about qualifications, I think I can speak on writing if you want, and that's not why I say you shouldn't listen to me just because I have a degree. But like, if you want to talk about qualifications, that would be how I would know that AI can't write certain things. arrogance combined with absolute anti-AI language. Okay, so I replied, I give kind of a short reply, but I said, my position is nuanced, though. I went over all the nuanced points. And the evidence presented to me said that AI is evil. Like, that's exactly that is nuance. Like, you can be like, nuance doesn't mean saying, oh, well, like, something could be good, something could be bad. You could have a nuanced opinion on something, and that opinion could be this thing should be banned, it should not exist. So, like, my opinion on AI is nuanced. It's just that I used a lot of nuance to come to a very strong conclusion. In fact, I think that my position is a lot more nuanced than this guy's, because I think that the only reason that this guy is saying, oh, videos like this are fun, is because he has not gone over all of the nuance that would lead him to videos like this should not exist, they should be banned. And he's using the fear of getting comments like this one are preventing him from saying more, I think. Nuance doesn't mean never calling anything bad. Nuance is the understanding of all many different angles of a subject with minimal bias, which is something I'm quite good at. I kind of worded that wrong. Of all many. I should have said of many. I think I was saying all, and then I typed many. Whatever. Like, you know. But yeah. And then they replied to that. Is there a reply worth looking at? At least in this video and others I watch, your claims against AI have no arguments behind them against about 90% of the time. I don't know what they're talking about. The things that I say have all very strong arguments behind them. Perhaps they're pointing out in the live stream format that every so often I'll say like a thing like offhandedly. That's just kind of how the live stream format works. I don't really know what this criticism was. I think you should consider that this is controversial topic. I have considered that it's a controversial topic. Yes, I'm aware. Absolute statements many disagree with require at least some reasoning behind them being vocalized. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they kind of just went on and on, but the one thing that I said that I think is important is I said, I think the problem with your criticism, what that person was saying, is that it's too nice. I'm not here to be nice to the side that wants to destroy the arts and harm the world, and I'm not looking to fence it. I put a lot of work into understanding this issue from all sides, and now that I've been able to make a concrete nuanced statement, I'm not going to shy away from it. Yeah, I think like that's kind of the problem with like some of these. I think that's also why this person said this. I think
kind of fun.
I think him saying this is kind of fun, it's almost peer pressure, because I don't think that this guy thinks that this video is fun. I really don't. Like someone who cares so much about like history that he like knows what the bread would look like. I don't think he's going to actually think that this is kind of fun. I think that he almost is feeling like when you're like in a social group and like they would be talking about like an AI video and you feel like you can't really criticize it even though you hate AI. Now, I don't do that. I will say that I don't. I will say like I actually had a social situation where someone said to me was like, oh, have you seen like the AI animals? And I was like, I hate AI. I will say that to people. And maybe that's bad. Like I understand not doing that. Because it could make like social situations awkward. And of course it depends on who you're talking to, but I never shy away from saying I hate AI in social situations if it comes up. I don't like, I don't like wear it on a t-shirt, but like, yeah. So I think that that's kind of what this is. And that has social consequences. So this whole thing about saying that this is kind of fun, this is what I would call a social deterrent. There is a social deterrent against saying, I think generative AI should be illegal. There is something where people who should be saying that feel like they can't because it's so normalized that this thing is out there. it's so normalized that people think it's kind of fun, that when you're saying, oh, I think generative AI should be illegal, you can get comments that will like kind of push back at you. And if you're not the kind of person who knows how to argue that from a legal standpoint, you might want to just retreat and submissively say, videos like this are kind of fun, but here's the problem. And I think that that is kind of what has happened. So I think it really is the responsibility of creators who criticize AI to say that generative AI should be illegal. I do think that. I think that it is important for people to say, because that is what you mean. Like, why would you, like, what is the actual, you can't, if there is a problem with this, if there is an issue with the existence of this video that has 7 million views, what course of action to make videos like that not exist can you take that isn't just making generative AI illegal? I really don't know. What can you meaningfully do? It's either you have things that generate videos and they make this and this gets 7 million views, or you don't have things that generate videos. There's no world where you can just go, they're kind of fun, but they have problems. There's no, that is not nuance. That is the opposite of nuance.
But they get the facts wrong, the visuals wrong, and the story's way off. So it's not really a history video. It just looks like a history video.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is that you have things, and think about it, for like all of the people who watched this, like who would get recommended this video, this AI history video? It would have to be someone who is at least a little interested in history in some way, right? Like, I don't think that the people who get AI Fruit Love Island would also get the AI history video. I'm sure that there are some people who would get this video because of the way that it is and because it's like, ooh, sensationalist. You know, there are people who are, for lack of a better term, less media literate who would be more likely to get this video because of their lack of media literacy. I think that that's very possible, but I do think that a lot of people who would be recommended this video would be people who would get another sort of history video instead if they didn't. I really do think that, because that's how algorithms work. It's going to see, oh, you liked Pompeii drama or some sort of like history thing, and it'll pop this stuff up. And for every minute that the 7 million people watched this, they weren't watching something else. And also this broadly, because like, you know, think of what a real version of this would be.
And it got 7 million views, but I'm going to show you how they got just about every detail wrong.
I'm in Pompeii.
So like, think about like a not AI version of this. It would probably be maybe slightly less engaging, you know, like it would have to have a lot of production value. You know, you would have to go to a set, you'd have to go film and all that sort of stuff. And it would probably be a bit slower, but I think that the existence of this AI content that goes fast, that just does shallow little things, that prioritizes things like
The thing, it's gonna
that prioritizes things like big explosions. I think that this also trains our minds to respond to this stuff. Whereas like learning to, if you're interested in history, if you're interested in actually properly learning about stuff, learning to put your mind in a place where you can focus on stuff like that, that isn't as immediately in your face, it does take practice. It takes constantly viewing stuff that is a little more substantive, that is a little less in your face, all this stuff going on. It takes practice for that. And the more content like this that's allowed to be out there, and look, you could make probably garbage like this without AI, but AI, let's be real, how much more of it is out there and how much less of a barrier to entry there is because of it. It's just not comparable. Just not comparable. And yeah, things like this, and to kind of take it back to the whole thing of what this guy didn't say, of what he should have said, which is videos like this should be banned, they should be illegal, is that they should be illegal because they make the world worse and they do not make the world better. And I think that's enough. I think that that's enough. And I think that in the way that they make the world worse is so much more severe than certain things that might also be net negatives that are a little more benign, that I think that banning it is really the only proper option. And I don't see how you can do a whole video where you criticize what's wrong with it, you criticize everything else, but all you say is, it's not a history video, it just looks like a history video. Okay, well, what should we do about it? What's the broader prescriptive statement that should just choose not to watch it yourself? That's not going to stop it from getting 7 million views. It's not really enough. It could help, and that could also be a part of it. If you're saying videos like this should be banned, well, you're also telling people to choose not to watch it. But why can't you do both? Why is it just a personal choice issue? Why can't it be a broader social issue? Why can't it be a political issue? That's what I thought about with this AI Pompeii video. What a joke. Do you think drugs should be illegal as well? What drugs? Yeah, lots of drugs should be illegal. There's a lot with drugs. Should be a lot of I think drugs should be decriminalized. People who get caught with them should be. Also, I mean, the easiest dub of any sort of drugs argument, it's just there just needs to be more like rehabs. Like you just have to have things. You just have to have a part of the social safety net is just drug rehabs. Like it's really an obvious answer. It's a really obvious answer. But yeah, sure, plenty of drugs should be illegal. Let's make prescription drugs illegal. Yeah, exactly. I think all drugs should be illegal. Tylenol? Just walk it off, man. Walk it off. Come on. Come on. Coffee? Get out of here with your coffee. Just wake up. Just wake up, bro. The only good thing I can think of for AI is shitposts and memes, but that's more of guilty pleasure. You could not be more wrong, actually. To flood, like, shitposts and memes are a part of culture. They are. They're a part of human culture. They're a part of human communication. AI being used for it suppresses the human element of those things. Could not disagree more. It is as much of a net negative for them to be used for memes as it is for them to be used in movies and TV. As bad. Not even close. So you should be guilty about that pleasure. Maybe this is too dark, but have you considered talking about Ray William Johnson? He makes true crime recaps with AI images. Let me see. Check him out. No, it might not be too dark. AI taking advantage of true crime is an important subject. I talked about that a little bit with Watch Mojo. Watch Mojo did that. 19 million subscribers. Holy. This dude uses AI? Oh, he's been around for a while. Oh, did he start using AI when it came around? Bro's been around for 17 years. He has a secret boyfriend. Oh, but he's just like fallen off? What is this? Seriously? This is such a joke. He found $150 million. He's rich now. 289,000 views.
In 1857, a ship full of gold is passing through the Atlantic, and kaboom, a hurricane hits, and the ship sinks, and millions of dollars in gold is lost. And one guy is gonna find it. The guy, his name is Tommy Thompson. And Tommy Thompson...
Why is it a long form video, but it's vertical? What the heck is this? Yeah, that's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. That's gross. Because the AI videos can only be made vertical? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Anyone have any other recommendations for a future stream? What's your opinions on the AI streams like SpongeBob and regular show? Is that like, what is that? Is it like AI sponge rehydrated? Was that it? Is it like these? Is it like the, yeah. I've never seen them, but they're trash. It's just like AI making things for a while, right? I'm sure it's trash. Yeah, I'll never understand what's enjoyable about AI just doing like random stuff in a row. Like it's just real bad. Did I join at the end of the stream? Yeah, we're kind of at the end here. It's alright, I put it in an unlisted playlist. Alright, I should probably end off here. You should play SpongeBob horror games. I should play SpongeBob horror games. I think it got popular because of the novelty at the time when it first started. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because it... Oh, that is something I do want to talk about with AI, is that... You know what I'm going to talk about it with? I'm actually about to watch the... I'm going to go see the live action Moana. And like how it's failing. And I'm going to talk about how like the live action remakes were like they were a novelty. And that's like worn off. And AI is kind of like that too. I think that with AI commercials, like AI commercials are such a novelty that like when an AI commercial happens, they're like, ooh, that's a commercial that's made with AI. But after that, it's going to be like, oh, here's a commercial that looks like garbage. You know? That's what I talked about when I talked about AI commercials. That was a very early stream. Hey, thank you for the 199 from Kufki. Thank you for continuing to talk about this. Well, thank you. May I ask how to become more media literate like you? Watch my videos would be one way. I answered that question for someone recently. The main way to become more Jackson, were you joking about Tylenol and prescription drugs? Yes, I was joking. Yes, I was joking. Yes, I was joking. Yes, I was joking. Tylenol and prescription drugs should be legal. Yeah, they're net positive. Yes, for the world. To become more media literate, what you should do is with everything you watch, ask yourself, what is the substance? The substance, that's the answer. And an easy way to look at that at first is lesson. I use the term lesson a lot in like SpongeBob. What is the lesson of a show? And if it seems like a show doesn't have a lesson, it's probably an indication that it's not very good. But beyond that, there's also other substance to things, commentary. And I'm only talking about movies and TV shows. Only movies and TV shows have to have a lesson. Video games don't. Video games are different. Video games challenge you in other ways. So like Super Mario Bros. Not having a lesson does not make it a flawed video game. Whereas the Super Mario Galaxy movie not having a lesson makes it a flawed movie. There's a difference. So yeah, so that's kind of the first thing, like look for substance and look for like a lesson, and just try to consider that like everything you watch has some sort of like substance to it. You don't always have to be like super, I'm always hardcore paying attention to everything I'm watching. Like you don't need to drive yourself nuts over it, but just give a thought to it. Just be like, is what I'm watching, like, does this have substance? Like just, if you just think about that every so often, just ask yourself that question, you'll be in good shape. Let's give you a good foundation. I thought the message of the Mario Galaxy movie was telling the audience to go F themselves. Oh, I didn't get it then. I'm deleting my video on it because I didn't get the point. Can you do something first? It is quick. Do something first. Well, what is it? You should just come out and ask instead of me waiting for you. But I'll wait. What do you want me to do? Can't believe Miyamoto gave me the finger in the movie. That was just the whole third act of the film. It was weird. It was really weird. I was like, are they ever gonna defeat Bowser? Before I knew how bad generative AI was, I used to think AI SpongeBob Rehydrated was hilarious because it was so random and broken. That's the novelty of it. Yeah, that's probably a novelty thing. Looking for and analyzing lessons revamp my love for cartoon and other movies. Love literacy maxing. I'm glad that's helped you. How about video game adaptation of movies? I watched this YouTuber who played through the SpongeBob movie game and he seemed to hate it because it was nothing like the movie. A video game adaptation. Oh, a video game adaptation of a movie. Yeah, I don't think a video game adaptation of a movie is under too much obligation to be exactly like the movie. It basically, any video game needs to prioritize gameplay first. But yeah, I think that there's I don't know. That might be up to personal taste, to be honest. Have you watched the new SpongeBob episodes yet? Yeah, I didn't think they were very good. I actually don't think I'm going to do a video on last week's SpongeBob episodes. I don't think I have that much to say about them. There was something with the one where they like were like Old West and they like panned for bubbles in the water. It was so stupid. Like it was bad. It was like just bad cartoon logic. And I thought about doing a video about cartoon logic, about how cartoon logic still has to make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense logically. It has to make sense within a story. And I was going to use that episode as the example, but I don't think I don't know if that subject is worth that episode, if that makes sense. Maybe it will. I'll think about it. And the other one was just a generic, it was a Plankton Formula episode, just him switching places with Squidward. It was like, whatever. I don't have much to say about it. Like, I could make a video that just like criticizes those episodes, but I usually do a bit more, you know, you'll notice. Whoa!
This company get to keep
What
the
the-
other.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Like usually my videos, like, you know, I usually have a broader thesis for my videos. My videos are never really just me criticizing an episode. Like this one is more about like the problem with ideas. Like what does it mean to have a bad idea? This one is about the mystery genre. This one's about SpongeBob and Patrick not being characters anymore. This one is about how an episode of a TV show can comment on the creative process, you know. This one's about going through the motions writing. You know, I could go on and on. They're all. This one is about I guess this one was kind of just a review of the episode, huh? No, I had a broader thesis with this one. I just made it a long time ago. I don't remember. I don't really remember what I did. I think I had a broader thesis with this one too. You should collab with Ava. I know. I should reach out to Ava. I should see if he wants to do something. I should see. I'm a bit busy right now, so I only want to do it when I can really do it, but I'm definitely open to anything with that if Ava wants to collab. All right. I think I'm gonna head off. Thank you for all being here. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.